Everyone, welcome back to another stream. We are well underway into our 2-week stretch of trying to reach that full-time content creator status, and we've made some really great strides. Right now, we are 3, 4, 5, day 5 out of 14, and we are about 78% of the way to our goal. And so that is from you guys. I appreciate it so very much, and I've been enjoying being able to do a good, consistent stream. It's been nice to be able to stream daily and interact with you guys, be able to play consistently. I'm really excited for next week to see if the meta shifts with the new season and see what that kind of brings our way. And then Ray say good morning, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. And then Hashiro, what is full time? Or FT? FT is full time, Hashiro. So me and my wife agreed upon a number for me to transition to full time. So quitting my day job and then focusing on content creation primarily. And that would be 1,000 subs. And so I'm going to be live every day from now until the 9th of October. And if we hit 1,000 within that stretch, then I'll put in my notice. I have time off stored up, so I'll be able to take off and start that full-time gig right away. And then Captain Pixel, welcome in. The Finds Man, I hope you're doing well as well. Hopefully you're having a great morning. And then Ills Kills, you said, let's go, loving the Wiccan Galactus build. It is definitely a wicked one. As it becomes more known, you have to kind of get a little bit cheekier with it. And it's one of those that I think if everybody isn't anticipating it, it becomes a little bit less effective, but it's still very strong nonetheless. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. And then Shubham, welcome in as well. Hopefully you're having a great one. I'm a little bit afraid to switch scenes because with a few of my, I think it's my sources in OBS, whenever I switch scenes, it's been freezing the entire OBS and killing the stream. And so I think what I'm going to do from now on is just maybe pop away Untapped until I figure out specifically which source it is that's doing it. So for the deck that we're running today, we're going to be doing, at least I'm going to be starting with a little bit of discard. I have a couple of other ones brewed up, but I really wanted an excuse to be able to use this gambit that I pulled the other day. It was a sleek looking one, so I went ahead and used the premium border. I already had it, I didn't pay for it. I had it from one of the events previously. And so I went ahead and threw it on because I think it does look pretty sleek. What emote bug? No, there's not an emote that's bugged. Whenever I switch scenes, for some reason it's freezing my OBS or my streaming software, and then it kills the stream. And then the Finds Man, long-time listener, first-time caller. I've been a big fan for a long time. Watching your streams while I'm working on my final university paper makes it a lot more stress-free. That's huge, the Finds Man. My last paper for when I finished my master's degree was rough. It was one of the worst things, because at that point I was so like burnt out and ready to be done. You said no, I clicked the emote for this. Oh, and it just didn't come through correctly. Interesting. Which new card are you excited for in the new season? Well, one, Scorn. I think Scorn's gonna be really cool with like the discard stuff. And so card Scorn. Scorn is gonna be a 1 cost, 2 power. When you discard this, return it to your hand and give +2 power to itself and one of your cards in play. So this is gonna be a card that will be decent with like the machine gun or Exodia style gambit, where you're just looking to delete the entire opponent's board. So like the Wong Mystique into like gambit, and you're gonna get quite a bit of power across the board. Scorn did fall off. Instead of doubling, it's +2, but I still think that's pretty strong. So And then if we're running stuff like Dakin, then Scorn can buff it up before Dakin comes down. And so I think it's kind of an interesting idea to be able to have it in there, to be able to just push a lot of power onto Dakin, double him up, and then you have like a 5 to 10 power Scorn as well. Imagine if Scorn never getting nerfed.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Everywhere. Yeah, Rin. It was going to be wild, but I think it's probably for the best that it's not a double, because we know that doubling up or any compounding effects get really crazy really fast. And then Trevork 5133, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Very much appreciate the support. That pushes us actually to 15 for the day. I had a there was actually a hype train while I wasn't even live, and so we have a little bit of traction already today. But Trevork, thank you for the Prime, thank you for the support. The first of the stream ads are about to start, and then we will jump into a little bit of gameplay, and then Wheaton Law. It's not a stream if you don't pop in and need a 2-minute timeout to think about things. We'll catch you on the flip side, Wheaton. Especially Gwyn in popular Discard. Yeah. That would have started his like snowball that much faster. Whoa, Grim, you said it's 5:49? So it's 7:49 my time. But I had to fit in a Sunday stream, I had to do it before my daughter wakes up. Because after she wakes up, it's just a free-for-all for the rest of the day. And so by starting a little bit early, I should be able to do like 2 or 3 hours before she wakes. And so we're going to go to the ads real fast. It's almost 9 p.m. here. Rin. And so it's not an awful time for you, Rin. And Boosty, welcome in. I'm so happy that the emote didn't go away, because you make a very unique entrance every single time you pop into the stream with the emote. But we're going to go ahead and queue up for a couple of discard games. And I have a couple of other ideas or decks that I have built out that I think are going to be interesting as well. And then if we get tired of Snap, I did find a setup for my phone that I can stream Pokemon Go. Or not Pokemon Go, goodness. That I can stream Pokemon Pocket. All right, so we do start off with Meek. Meek, it gives us a little bit of flexibility against the clutter stuff that we see a lot of. And then if we can Gambit, if we draw Gambit and destroy the Invisible Woman, huge. Otherwise, we have a couple of decent cards. We might curve into Moon Knight. Ooh, now never mind. Since Iceman broke the Proxima, may not Moon Knight, because it becomes a 50-50.
Opponent snapped.
Let's hold off on it. And then Quinnick, this is going to be a great Sunday. Whether I stream or not, Quinnick, I think it's going to be a great Sunday indeed. Like some Zoo deck? Yeah. No, it's an Arsham deck. I just now looked at the number of cards he has. So these are Arsham. And then the Mockingbird and Krakoa. Makes a lot of sense, unfortunately. Go Dracula into Mojo World. We can do a follow-up with Swarm, or with MODOK on 5. That gives us a couple of swarms to use. Then we'll see what we draw on the very final turn. And up, Lemur, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. And a very high-powered Madam Web coming in at 10 power. They will be able to move their cards out of Krakoa as well, which is a bit unfortunate for us. Let's go ahead and go MODOK into Krakoa so that if we draw a Blade, it's going to be an 11 power Blade. Morbius gets a huge bump. Gambit, everything that we could draw next turn becomes pretty decent. If we want to... But we'll only be able to fit 3 cards in the left. I guess we'll see. Is Scarlet Spider worth getting? Nah, I'd say probably not. I want it to be. And I played it probably more than I play most of the other new releases. But just for the most part, it feels okay. But it doesn't really feel 6,000 worthy. If you're missing White Widow, definitely worth using some skis to see which one you pull. But I think if you already have the others, it's not really great. Feels like Meek is a bit too weak in discard now. Oh, I mean, it can be. There's some times where I drop the Meek. Sometimes, for me, the biggest strength for Meek is against all of the clutter stuff. Is it worth one tap? Yeah, I think it's always worth one tap. I mean, if you only have one, you're taking a gamble. Maybe not. Because I think there are better cards or are going to be more impactful cards coming up soon. Okay, so big Morbius. And then Angel, thank you so much for resubbing for 6 months at tier 1. You said thanks for 4 great months and allowing me to support you. Much love. Let's get the 2 weeks done. Thank you so much, Angel. That puts us up to it should be, whenever that pops up, it should be 783, and so we're getting very, very close. I burnt 8 keys for 2 weeks straight. Oof, Rin, that is very tough. So we could either send our focus here, get the extra 18 power. What did they absorb? They absorb Killmonger, Eliath. So then we could just do something like this. Puts a decent amount of power here, a decent amount here. I think we do this. I think we let Apocalypse go into mid. We have the big Morbius. We could also fully compete for Mojo World by just filling it up. But I think this gives us a good spread of power. And then don't forget to hydrate. Angel, I appreciate you. I always start the streams before I hit live. Ooh, I forgot they had Blob that could move. Okay. Hold up. That's fine. We win Mojo World. They can have mid. That is A-okay with me. We will gladly take the 33 power right lane. We don't lose Bifrost by all that much. And then we solo the left lane with the Proxima. We'll take it. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one.
It took you long enough.
And then Janix, thank you so much for subbing for 1 month at tier 1. Very much appreciate the support and very glad to have you. Brings us up to 783. And then Butter My Biscuit, she said I was gone for a day. That's great. We have had a lot of generosity. A lot of generosity. I had, I think, 20 subs while I was off air yesterday, which is craziness. But I'm very fortunate for the support that we are having. This one is incredibly so much points. It's hard for me to turn that down. I may have to do an activate. Let me see if I brewed an activate deck for today. I think I had to abandon most of the activates. We do have one activate. Let's go ahead and pivot over into Dracula dump, and then I'll run more discard because I do think it's in an okay spot. It puts out quite a bit of power. It has a little bit of surprising amounts of flexibility, but it's hard. It's hard to turn down a 750 bounty when we're still pushing to try to finish out the capped or the last reward for it. And if you guys weren't here for, I think it's Friday's stream, one of our viewers, I think it's Cringe, Cry, but I think it was Cry, wagered a few gifted subs to take me on in Conquest, and they ran something very similar to this. There's a couple of changes that were made to it, but the idea is very much the same. You can skip for most of the game and then have like a big explosive last couple of turns. We do have Bob. Bob would be, I think, fine, and we could probably use that over the Martyr, but I don't think we have to have it. And then Jank said, been watching on YouTube. Good luck on the Twitch goal. Thank you so much, or Janix. Thank you so much, Janix, again for the support and just being here to enjoy and watch. So we did lose our Gwyn pool. Unfortunate. I'm gonna go ahead and pass. with Human Torch, that is a really big high roll that I'm not sure that we can really face off against. Oh, and especially with Kunlun, this one may be a retreat. And we love that. You deserve it. I'm getting really excited because it's getting that much closer to being an actual reality. He said Bob feels great right now. Bob feels pretty decent, especially with the flood deck. Like, it doesn't make as big of a difference in something like this where we typically want to drop our stuff last turn if we can. I'm gonna go ahead and skip one more turn. And there's the vulture, so that starts elevating. Do they have? Yeah. So they have two big cards that are gonna start scaling a lot. They can move vulture here into a Heimdall. There's nothing we can do to beat that high roll. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do. And we could play out our cards. Doesn't matter what we do like after that, but jump out of that one. Baba's a better Martyr Titania. Yeah, Titania's her only strength is in like the ability to clutter or cap an opponent out if they've played pretty heavily. Other than that, yeah, I agree. She's one that you have to really be careful when you play her. You can't just kind of throw it out for the power onto the board. Whereas Bob, you can, knowing that sometimes he'll move a little bit, but in general, it'd be all right. And then Tranquilizer, welcome in. Hopefully, you're having a great day. And then CK Ding, hi TLSG. Hope you have a good stream. Thank you for jumping in and joining us. Hopefully, you're having a great day as well. And then Cry. Very cool deck indeed. A lot of inspiration from a very generous viewer that absolutely wiped the floor with me in Conquest with it. Very much, I think, the same deck. I think the only big difference might be like the Blade Zero Martyr. I know you had Bob, and then I don't think these other two were there. So I think there were some small shifts to it, but also, how does it come that you're on so early? I was surprised, but in a good sense. So I'm on so early. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on so early so that I can stream on the weekend. Typically, I don't stream on the weekends because my daughter's here, and once she is awake, it is a free-for-all. And so it just kind of it happens. But if I woke up earlier than her, and so I can that way I can stream for like maybe 2-3 hours before jumping off and starting my day with her. Wait, why didn't I play Black Swan last turn? What are we doing? All right, let's go Black Swan. We do have the Chimichanga, not that we necessarily need it. We have their U.S. agent. Ooh, and they drew a couple of our cards too. And I only drew one of theirs because I was holding cards. Clear up a little bit of space. The trial guys, you said morning, just got off work, time to play some Snap. The trial guys, hopefully you had a good work day. And I'm glad you're here, and hopefully you enjoyed some Snap. He said it's my break so I can focus on the stream for once. Huge. So we at this point, we can skip on 5 to just Infinite plus flood our 1 costs. Is it enough? I don't know. But it is a pretty big bursty play. They have our Red Hulk. Okay, with Dracula, we don't actually have to skip on 5. I think Dracula mid. Activate Black Swan. We have to look out for them doing like an Arnhem Zola onto the Dakin. That's kind of the feel or the setup that I think they're going with here. Even if we ended up drawing Red Hulk, it would be fine. If we draw Gwynpool, that'd be beautiful because we can guarantee that all of them hit the Infinite. It's an explosive last turn. It is a explosive last turn. It very much gives me vibes of the like original Khazar Zoo, where you would hold like all of your one cost. You would set up like a Bishop and Angela and those sorts of cards. So they're not going with an Arnom Zola, so that's good to know. They do have our... That's decent. That may even be better than the Gwynpool. So this would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 plus 1, but they could be going with a Killmonger, so they may still double up the Dakin. We need to zero out the blade to make sure that we don't dump it for the Infinite. So I think it'd be Hitmonkey. Go ahead and flood in these two. So Hitmonkey is 0. We'll do Blade. Actually, let's do 0, Blade, Ant-Man, and then Martyr. Martyr will probably drop or jump over into Weird World, but that's fine. With the big Hitmonkey to the left, it's a huge explosion of power. They do have the Red Hulk coming down, so it looks like we could have focused on the right lane. Actually, no, that's... Yeah, we're not going to be able to beat it. The explosive last turn play, but we didn't quite get there, unfortunately. I should have thought about the Red Hulk. I was worried about the Dakin, and that's why I dodged the right lane. But between the 11 and the 5, our original line would have been able to win this one, with the extra 16 bumping us up to 20. That's okay. And then Uno, you said, what deck are you playing today? So right now, I was going to do just some kind of classic discard. Using like Meek, Gambit, Moon Knight. But I got a legendary bounty for activate 8 cards. And so I'm running a little bit of Dracula Dump, which I think is kind of an interesting way to utilize the Black Swan. And so that's what I'm starting with. And then we'll maybe pivot back to the Dracula discard here in a little while. Then Valentino, you said, hey TLSG, do you think the new Black Swan activate could have some use in Thanos to allow stones to be played alongside actually useful cards? Potentially. Potentially in like a Thanos Zoo. So if you get it down, you might not even have to save the Black Swan for the last turn. Sometimes you might be able to activate it mid-game and then just kind of flood from there. It might. I haven't tried it, and I haven't seen it, but it does sound like it would be a decent idea nonetheless. My goodness, that was a lot of flood. So grapple arrow, hopefully no acid arrow. Okay, so they are capped out on the left. I'm assuming we see like a Blue Marvel and a few other similar cards come down. We can save the Gwynpool towards the end. And go like maybe a Dracula right. I don't want to snap back. Dracula right gives us a lot of power over there. We can do Gwynpool, end up positioning a Martyr, kind of stabs us. Hydra Bob would definitely be better. I'm feeling the deficits of Martyr a bit. I still think we go Dracula. I'm gonna go ahead and snap back. I think we're in a good spot. They could Khazar, they can Blue Marvel, they can Gilgamesh in the right. The right lane is going to be pretty formidable. Gilgamesh here isn't going to be great for them. And so I think we have a decent shot of like pressuring them here. Except when you calculate in the Mockingbird. Mockingbird is pretty big. And activate the Black Swan. And then I'm going to throw Gwynpool left. We'll be able to do everything, depending on what we draw. We'll be able to do everything except for the Red Hulk. So Blue Marvel as well. Marvelous. And then Kyera. So Gilgamesh is very likely going to pop down into Necrosha. So we do want to use Blade to get rid of Hitmonkey, the card on our left, card on our right. Needs 10 more power, which is tough. That means we would have to really focus Red Hulk here. And 5, 10, 6, 7, 8. 13. 13 doesn't do it. We would have to hope that we can overpower the big Gilgamesh. And maybe. But I think Martyr may stab us in the back. Blade will get rid of Hitmonkey. It's going to be 22 power here. And then this, but their Gilgamesh is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. 18 brings them to 23. We might stand a chance. Give it a shot. No Dazzler. No Gilgamesh. Good. For 8 too. Even with Martyr. Martyr, I definitely am feeling the constraints with Martyr here. Hydra Bob is probably better, yeah. But we will grab the 8 cubes against Shiva. Whew. I think even with the Gilgamesh line, we should have been okay. But we will gladly take the 8 where we can. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. Valentino, you said, I'm desperately seeking ways to make Thanos decent again. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, his biggest problem is the board space now. With how much, like, clutter and, like, small, like, clog tools we have. Thanos really struggles to find his footing a lot of times. Janix is such a cube stealer. It is. Cry absolutely wiped the floor with me in Conquest, and so I kind of took that idea and plugged it into a deck and tried it. It can have some big output. Next up we have Dark Moogle. The first location is Kiln, so Dracula over there will be beautiful. That'll land in mid. Hold our 1 cost for now. We can always do Strong Guy as well. Oof, another Madam Web deck. The only problem this one ends up having is that if it can't match the high power output, then it can sometimes struggle. Do we double up on Strong Guy? Or do we just go like Strong Guy? Maybe we go double Dracula, and we're looking to do a big double trigger of Hitmonkey on the last turn. I feel like the double Strong Guy may be a bit greedy, but it's still what we're going to go with. Madam Web with the Electro line. So they could do a double Blink. Wouldn't be bad. And then Elliot, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. We're hoping that Dracula jumps over to the left. Beautiful. So the skip into Infinite on turn number 5 here. Pretty good. $13 Nephilim 13. Thank you so much for the 5 community gifted subs. And with that, Twitch, I believe, matches 1 as well. And so huge support that pushes us to 790 out of the 1,000. So we are getting very, very close to being able to make the transition a reality. If you got one of the gifted subs, make sure to thank Nephilim in the chat. Huge support. I appreciate it so very much. I don't think we win this one. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
And then Joseph25, thank you so much for the 1 month at tier 1, pushing us to 791 as well. We're almost 80% of the way. Nephilim, you said good luck on the journey to 1,000. Thank you so much, Nephilim. We're making good strides for sure. So, rough stuff indeed. The second hit monkey is good, but they can reposition their Infinite, which is not what we like to see. We would want to get really lucky with the Infinite pool. And I think we very likely lose this one. But since it's only one additional cube and all of the positive stuff flowing around, I think we're gonna stick it out and see if we get lucky. And then Drew, you said TLSG, just saw your tweet about getting charged back. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, fortunately for me, it's a smaller percentage of my like overall like monthly bring home. And so it wasn't as huge of an impact as it was for some other creators. And so it's a good chunk of money. Like it still hurts to see like wake up and see that big chargeback or that negative income amount. Oof. The Magneto swindles it here for us. There's not even a chance for us to steal it home. Oof, we would have gotten lucky. The first one that did pull an Infinite, and so we would have had a chance. No, we wouldn't have even had a chance over here, I don't think. Oh well, it's all good. We'll take the 2 cube loss and we'll jump in. What charge? Need a too long, didn't read. There were about 130 gifted subs that were charged back, and so somebody that gifted either like filed a fraudulent claim with their credit card company. And it wasn't just me as far as Snap creators. There were quite a few people in the Snap community that had chargebacks all yesterday. And so mine ended up being like $330 to $340 that was initially granted and projected, and then I wake up and it's deducted from my next payout. And then HR Ethra 3, thank you so much for subbing for 6 months at tier 1. The huge vote of confidence. I appreciate it. Hopefully you're having a great morning so far. That pushes us to 792. We're pushing very, very close to the 800, and then we'll just need the last 200 to put in our 2 weeks. Wonder if it was a stolen credit card or just a troll. I don't know. I want to say that it probably wasn't a stolen credit card, but who knows? It could have been. But I don't know that this is the first time that it's happened to that person. Yeah. Yeah, it's still one of those things that you wonder. All right, we're going to go ahead and skip on 1 and see what we can make happen here. How do you know if you were gifted? So Ills Kills, you would have gotten a notification, and you would be able to see the symbol next to your name. And then Slon, welcome in from Kazakhstan. I wanted to make sure that I was pronouncing it to the best of my abilities, and I still may have butchered it, but welcome in, Slon. Hopefully you're having a great morning. I don't know if TLSG should be honored that someone would steal a credit card just to sub to him. I mean, it was... So the problem is that it wasn't just subbing to me. It was, from what I gather, 5+ Snap creators that all had chargebacks that were brought up.
Hey,
yesterday.
welcome. It took you long enough.
So if they have a beast to pull these 2 back in, that's really unfortunate, kind of scary, but kind of what we'll deal with. Let's go ahead and do Dracula here. And then 084, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support, pushing us to 793 out of the 800. They did have the beast for mid lane. Unfortunate that werewolf is going to be able to scale dramatically. And we don't have Black Swan. So we do need to play out a few of our cards. Maybe we can do this. The problem is that Red Hulk isn't going to be able to be discardable, and he's not huge for us. So I'm going to try to send Titania into Kunlun, and maybe we cap them out, because they're going to want to move at least werewolf over there at least once, and I want to make sure that they can't have that lever to move him again. And Pixie, good morning as well. Hopefully you're having a great morning. We're playing a little bit of Dracula Dump, complete some Alliance bounties. And then I have a discard deck that was the one that I was actually wanting to run. But this one was a close follow-up second. I may not have the most ideal build. Like, I think Martyr is probably problematic. Especially since I have Bob unlocked as well. And so Nico, the card move. Okay, so Silver Sable is going to move out. That's unfortunate. Silver Sable is going to move out of Time Theater, which leaves them a space to be able to jump Werewolf back over there again if they want. Or they wouldn't be able to jump him back over there, depending on who has priority. But they have a space to still play over there. You said you do have Bob. I thought it was a poverty play. What a way to phrase that. No, I do have Bob. It's just I thought that this one would be a decent one for us, but I may have been wrong. I kind of think we just give them the Titania over there. We go 0 Blade into a Hit Monkey Titania. They won't be able to bounce Werewolf over here. Even if they leave this one here, it becomes a 50-50. If they move Werewolf out, then this one becomes a guaranteed win. And then this one, I think, has a decent shot. That's what we're going to go ahead and lock in. We're not going to play the mind games of, are they going to play in Kunlun? Are they not? To try to determine where this Titania is going to go. We're just going to leave it over there as that clutter piece. And then focus on developing our board instead. Did you experiment a little with Agent Venom? Many deck builders I know are very excited for him. So Agent, I'll do the card description for anyone that doesn't know what Agent Venom does. So Agent Venom is a 2-cost 4 power that sets the power of all cards in your deck to 4. So I think this will be kind of cool in a few different shells. That is not the one that we needed. But it does force... we lose by 1.
Tie.
No, it's a tie. Okay. Math was wrong. We end up tying, and we lost the 50-50 there, but still came forward with the tie. And if it hadn't been for all of the Silver Sables, the Red Hulk would have been... I want to say it was 4 higher. And so we would have been even better off. Said C4 is a no-brainer. Yeah, C4 I think is a no-brainer. But I'm very hesitant on C4. So the only Cerebro deck that really stands up for, like, has stood up and been relevant for a while is Cerebro 3. And that's because Cerebro 3 has access to a lot of great utility tools that I don't know that Cerebro 4 will have. So for Cerebro 3... we have some really big utility tools. We have like the armor, if we're seeing a lot of destroy. Scarlet Witch, Quake can be cheeky, but usually not consistent. We have the Cosmo. We have Killmonger, Juggernaut. We have the Luke Cage, the Mobius. A lot of really good like key pieces, and not to mention the like Shang-Chi if we need it, the Valkyrie if we need it. So we have location change. We have like opponent restriction or tech for the opponent's cards, and it just really fits all in. Versus the 4 power slot, I think it'll be okay. So we could do like Sarah for some flood stuff. We could do Claw. But we don't have, I don't think, any locational control. Miss Marvel obviously fits in there. We don't have any locational control, so if the opponent does a magic to do like a Living Tribunal, we're kind of at their mercy. Leech would probably fit in that deck just as a way to fend off any like 6-cost cards. But the resources that we have are still pretty limited with it. So I mean, Makari would obviously be a slot in. Jean Grey, Hope Summer. I guess we have Nocturne as that locational control, yeah? Mysterio could be an interesting play if you hope that he gets hit by Agent Venom. I could see some decent cohesion there. Lockjaw is funny. Yeah, Claw is a huge hit. Blue Marvel wouldn't fit into Cerebro 4 necessarily. But I do see a couple of things that could be really cool. Like the Claw is amazing. The Miss Marvel, so like a Miss Marvel Claw. I mean, it has a lot of power spread outside of just the raw cards that are being played. Makari, I think, fits into it well. Nocturne. Okay, looking at it, we just don't have the like counter text, but we do have a lot of key pieces. So Hope Summers to try to be able to curve into like your Sarah early. We obviously have Agent Venom. Can you check the 5 slot? The 5 cost, or I mean the 5 power. The 5 power. We have a lot of like go wide stuff. We have the cheap stuff, so you could end up doing like Black Swan into this. We have Moon Girl that fits into it now as well. But this one definitely doesn't have the location stuff. Scarlet Spider feels in it as far as Cerebro 5. You're just really at the mercy of the opponent with this one. You would probably want to have like Enchantress in there as that protection. But I do like the Cerebro 4. Looking at it a little bit more with Agent Venom, I think Cerebro 4 is kind of a really interesting idea. That might have some decent merit. I think Jean Grey will be pretty cool in it. But outside of that, I think if you're looking at like some lower cost decks, so like one of our mid-range like bounce decks that ran Athena, Angela, Kitty Pryde, Agent Venom is going to be amazing in like that mid-range shell. That can take your Sage, which a lot of times you like to run, starts it at 4. Your Athena starts that scaling at 4. Morph doesn't matter, but the Angela... The Angela in it will start off a little bit higher off. Wherever Angela went, I think she's 2-3. Yeah. Angela will start off a little bit higher off. Maybe you end up putting Mysterio back in. I think there's some cool applications for Agent Venom for sure. I don't think he's as flexible as like Athena or as like a White Widow, but I think there's going to be some decks that he's definitely good in. And then Janix, you said my plan for this month is just Agent Venom and Toxin. Toxin is going to be crazy too. That's one of my... it's crazy that they took Beast from 2 cost because he was, whatever reason, like too effective at 2 cost. And then we have essentially a cracked out Beast coming back in or releasing at 2 cost. Yeah, and then Toxin into Beast also sounds like a really funny line. I think Toxin is going to make bounce decks wild. Being able to pull those cards back in, get power on it, Beast him back in, and then maybe do like the cheap White Widow again, plus Toxin, it'll be crazy. And then hopefully OBS ain't taking us apart this time. So I have a strategy for that, Tickler. I have a strategy for that today. And that is just don't switch scenes. So I was trying to troubleshoot it. From what I could tell, and then Michelle or Michael said new in this game, any tips? So completing your dailies is one of the biggest things that you can do. It gives you the most bang for your buck and the most progress you can typically find. And so that would be where I would start. And then just kind of experiment with your new cards as you unlock them. And find an archetype that you enjoy to really flesh out and use for your like Series 5 purchases once you get to that point. But for the early game, just enjoy it. Just enjoy the experimentation and finding all of the new decks and the synergies and things like that.
Parker!
He said Sunday brews. Are we drinking up on the Lord's Day? Because that'll get you to 5K real quick.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Not those kind of brews. And then Tickler, thank you so much for subbing for 1 month at Tier 1. Very much appreciate the support. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. And then Nephilim, you mentioned there was a new game mode in your title the other day. So the new game mode is called High Voltage. And it's a temporary game mode, kind of like Deadpool's Diner. But it's only going to be 3 turns. And each turn, you and your opponent get a random amount of energy. Anywhere from, I think it was like 1 to, some people were saying 5, but I know on the video it showed at least a potential for 10. And so it should be really interesting to see how that game mode plays out. But we'll be able to unlock a card, I think it's Agony, through the game mode, and then some variants and other things along the way. And Agony's ability may change, it's just data mined at this point. But right now she shows up kind of like a Hulkbuster. So they Red Guardianed our Madam Web that we got from them, unfortunately. And then Nephilim, thank you so much for the additional 5 gifted subs. And Twitch matched that with another 2 on top of it as well. And so that pushes us to 33 for the day. I'm not sure what that brings our total to. It looks like 801. 801 out of 1,000. We are now on the last 200 downhill slide to be able to make this thing a reality. Absolutely monstrous support. I appreciate it so very much. Hopefully you're having a great day, and we're nearing in on that goal. As soon as we hit it, I'm going to turn in my 2 weeks, and then I have time off built up that I can pretty much call in for the remainder of it. So we can play out the Red Hulk, but that would leave Dracula pretty susceptible. I'm gonna go Ant-Man to send Ant-Man their way in Castle Zemo so we can set up the... Oh. Okay, we're not we're not sending Ant-Man their way. That was rather rude though. So I think this is a Cerebro 3 deck. I think we get Cerebro 3'd on. So with the Multiple Man, with Madam Web, Quake, Red Guardian, Agent, all of those to me are screaming Cerebro 3. So if they do Cerebro Mystique here, this lane is weak. So this one would only go up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We would win with what we have. If they go Cerebro in a 3 cost, Cerebro and a 3 cost so that they can win mid. The left lane goes up to... or 6 extra to 16. Do we ever do this? I feel like that's a wild chance to take, but... I could also go with this line. I'll take a 50-50 shot. Multiple man move, so they do get a pretty big jump over into the Daily Bugle. The Cerebro, I forgot about Bast. That is not the Bast thing we could have seen. Killmonger comes in. It does take out a lot of our strength, so they do win mid. We get the 20 power in the left. Oh my gosh. We needed the 50-50. We needed the God RNG, and we will we will grab the win against January. Oof. Take 4 cubes where we can, but pretty interesting line, especially if you get the Madam Web. I feel like it would probably be lackluster if you don't get this 2-card combo pretty early, but as long as you do, that multiple van just gives you so much flexibility across the board. And then CK on the YouTube side, you said, "Hi TLSG, I'm stuck on Series 3 cards. I'm curious if when I unlock them all, can I unlock Series 4 and 5 after?" So Series 4 and 5, I believe, start at you start earning towards keys at collection level 500, and so then it's like 165. I think it's 165 collection level. You'll unlock a spotlight key. And that's going to be your path to be able to unlock Series 4 and 5. Because every week, the spotlight caches will rotate. Oh. So every week, the spotlight caches will rotate, and you'll be able to pull from a different set of cards. And these are going to be the Series 4 and 5 cards that you'll have available. So you'll have to utilize those keys. And so keep an eye on what collection caches come up or are upcoming. Because that will kind of dictate how and when and where you spend them. 120 per key, not 165. Thank you guys. And then Angel, I actually forgot to hit start recording, and so I don't get that YouTube moment. I guess I could come back on. I could come back and grab it off of the video on demand, I suppose. Keep winning the 50-50s. Every once in a while, you need to lean into the 50-50s. And then any replacements for Hitmonkey and Gwynpool? You could probably replace Gwynpool. Hitmonkey, I think, just serves really well with like the Black Swan to be able to have an alternate, like a bursty end game. And so next up we have Dark Moogle, and they're making some good mogul moves. They're up to 190 or up to 91. I think they were like 130. The last time we faced, like 30 minutes ago. Can't clip it? No, you're okay. I can download the video on demand. So with the Nexus, a lot of decent power. We have a strong guy. We can go Dracula. We can always try to maybe send them Titania to lose the potential of some of their move. Oh, wait. Starlight Citadel is going to shift it around. I'm going to drop a wild question, but how do I play this deck without Swan? You would just have to curve your 1 costs earlier, so you lose a lot of the element of surprise. But I mean, I'm sure you could still play it. It just wouldn't be as good, unfortunately. Do we take a gamble on where the Nexus is going to fall? Or do we just skip here? Gonna go mid. Ooh, wait, Ghost Rider? Did not go mid, unfortunately. So we do get Black Swan, so that is a good way for us to drop the big Hitmonkey. Let's go Black Swan mid. Oh my gosh, what are we doing? We can't activate it. Rough stuff. All right. The avatar got us distracted. They broke us off of our game. The beauty of Galactus. We played that one so poorly. We should have held Dracula, knowing that even if we got the Black Swan top deck on 5, we couldn't activate the ability. I'm not sure what I was thinking. Probably tired brain. How are you able to play Pokemon Pocket early? So I moved to New Zealand. There's also a video out there that's linked in the Pokemon Pocket videos that I've released. It's not my video, but somebody did post one about it, and I can get you the link to my latest. I can get you the link to my latest video. Let me find it. And so in the description of this video, it links to somebody that posted how you can move to New Zealand early. And so I moved to New Zealand though. I know that some other people are kind of skirting around it, but I moved there. I just have a green screen to set up so that like the background doesn't look any different. And I guess it's a link to the tweet of the link to my video. That's what I can do in a short amount of time. I mean, we definitely all moved to New Zealand. It's fantastic. It's fantastic this time of year. I'm gonna hold on 2 as well. Stereo can also be played instead of Gwenpool for Hitmonkey stuff. That's true, Jan. What's the art behind you? So they're disc plates. And so it's of different various games that I've played in the past. And so I previously played a lot of League of Legends. So we have Vi, we have this one, which is Baldur's Gate 3, which was amazing. This one is Tracer from Overwatch. We have the Lich King. We have Dr. Boom from Hearthstone. And then back over here, we have Sylvanas. But they're disc plates. So we could Strong Guy. We know an Alliath is going to come down, so Dark Dimension gets kind of scary depending on if we have priority or not. Shout out Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is a work of art for sure. We do get Dracula, not bad. Maybe it's Dracula into mid, opens up the possibility for us to stack in, or Dracula to the right. It opens up the possibility for us to do like some big bursty plays into mid, maybe? No. Not with the Ronin the Accuser there. Have you played Overwatch much? I did play it a whole lot a while back. I haven't played it for a bit, but I did sink a lot of time into it previously. And then I played a little bit of Marvel Rivals as well, whenever that was in the beta stages. So we can do this. We cap out their mid lane so they can't hit us with the last turn Alliath there. Overwatch 1 was my best game back then. Top 500 was a great time. I loved the original, like, early days of Overwatch for sure. And then who were your mains? I played primarily Tracer. I liked being able to get into the back line and derail like the opponents or take out their squishies, and then like kind of retreat back to safety. I really enjoyed that type of gameplay. So we could either leave Titania, or we do Hitmonkey. It calls Titania back. We do a Martyr, Blade, Ant-Man. That's going to leave one card in our hand. This scales up. This scales up. I think we're in a decent spot. How's the subscriber count going? Are we there yet? Really want to see this guy stream for good, with beard or not? Ruro. So we're actually getting really, really close. We're making huge strides. We are at with Mondo 262's resub for 2 months. That pushes us to 802 out of the 1,000. So we're nearing in on that like final downhill slide. And Mondo, thank you for the Prime sub. He said, love the content, TLSG. Let's push for 1,000. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hopefully great things come your way. And so let's go Hitmonkey, flood the right. We have Dracula that's hopefully going to pull the Infinite. Okay, there's the Alliath. That's fine. Our Martyr is not going to leave anymore. But the discard does now come down to a 50-50. Instead of Blade being able to get rid of Alliath, it comes down to that 50-50, but it's not going to matter. We absorb the Alliath in the right. Strong Guy bumps up, and we are able to take the very cheeky 4-cube game away. I'll gladly take it. Let's jump over into the next one. He said I was a mercy. And I always hated playing with tracers. You can't heal someone who is one shot 99% of the time. That's very true. Tracer was very much a, like, if you could be stealthy enough, she did phenomenal things.
Hey, welcome. It took you
But
long
otherwise, she was a pretty big liability. And so there were some games where you just got squished out of existence. And then Deesh Dude, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. Very much appreciate it. He said she's the definition of a glass cannon. She is indeed. Like if you get behind in those backlines, she would destroy the enemy team. But that oftentimes meant that she was kind of away from like the tanks and away from the other teammates, and so you could get collapsed on very, very fast. Only activated Black Swan twice. Woof. And then Tickler said, "Give me the Uatu." We're gonna go the OG Uatu avatar. Go with the infinite Uatu of all things, and then that I think merits a card back change to. I think the Galaxy is just fitting for him. Go ahead and shift over into that. This is like a Dracula dump deck. It is. It is a really big bursty Dracula dump deck that leans into and utilizes Black Swan's activate, along with like our newfound like Gwynpull power. So if you dump your hand and then drop Gwynpull on that last turn, your Dracula absorb card is going to be even bigger. And then Ruro, you said you have another version of this? I don't. But Cry beat me with this in a conquest run that I ran with him on Thursday or Friday. One of those two. They beat me with this, and it was very similar, but I think it used Hydra Bob instead of Martyr, and then maybe something in place of like the Zero. But it was a very similar like core idea. Wonder if Swan could be Wiccan. You would have to play your cards early, and a lot of times I like to skip those early turns. But it might not be awful either. And we take those wins. We absolutely take them. And then Wishreed said Tails Gaming. As in the team? I wasn't a part of it. If that's what you were asking. Was the old version more predictable? Like the old version, what, with Hydra Bob? I think Hydra Bob is honestly better than the Martyr. But the old version, before we had these pieces, with like the strong guy, before we had Black Swan to flood, definitely I think it was more on the too linear. This one, a lot of times it's kind of like the original Khazar Zoo, where you would hold all of your big cards for the last turn, so you would dodge a potential Killmonger. So you hold them all until that last turn, and then you just explode just an unheard of amount of power on the last turn, which can be really tough for the opponent to anticipate. So for 3, we're going to have to play something. We may end up throwing just like Ant-Man down onto the board. Oscorp Tower is also, I guess it's fine. Go just Ant-Man so we keep room to draw. We do have Dracula, which is going to be infinite, and so with the Green Goblin, we are not going to do anything other than position our Dracula over there. Dracula gives us the way to win that one even when it's capped out, and we can follow up on 5 with like Gwynpull 0. We'll see. We can dump 3 1-cost cards alongside Hitmonkey, and then still let Infinite potentially get discarded. So Debris, that is fine, and then Hood. We probably see, I would imagine, a Viper in the right lane. But left lane is secured. Strong Guy is not bad. Do 3 and then 1, 2, 3 right now. What if we did Titania and it potentially pulls it into their side in Oscorp Tower? Because I assume they play like a Viper to try to clear up this hood. And we'll shoot them a Titania over. I'm also going to go Gwynpool because that buffs up all of our potential Dracula absorptions. So Strong Guy, 0 Martyr. Not bad. A Nihilist, interesting. So, Hit Monkey, if we did Hit Monkey, Blade, 0 Martyrs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 plus the 7 is 16. It gives us the win in the right. It guarantees that Infinite absorbs left, and then mid is a respectable 8 power. That's what we're gonna go ahead and lock in here. Hit Monkey becomes just a little bit bigger than Strong Guy. Strong Guy would end up being 11. So wait, hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I tried to undo it. Oh well. Martyr could leave right. No, I zeroed it out. As long as my order was correct, I zeroed it out. Strong Guy was the better play here. In the right. Not that I think it's going to make a difference, but it would have been the difference maker. And so we have Martyr in the right, which is going to make sure that Martyr cannot leave. We have the guaranteed Dracula absorption, and we actually grab all 3 of the locations. What a beautiful bursty deck. We'll gladly take it. Let's jump over into the next one. Black Swan is eluding us, though. And then Samuel, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great morning. Survivor, Salazar, hello from Brazil. Welcome in. Glad to have you. Hopefully you're having a great morning. Chip Lover said, I need a shirt that states, all right, let's jump into the next one. I mean, I'm not against creating a couple of like cool shirt ideas. Not against it by any means. I think we get rid of one of our Draculas. No, I like to save the blade. Never mind. I like to save the blade for that like last turn play so that we can get rid of like a bad last turn draw. I don't think you've drawn Black Swan even once. One time I drew her on 5. And then 2 times I was able to activate it. Other than that, no, we haven't. It's awful. All right, let's go Dracula left. Next turn, maybe we flood the left lane to get the free raft resource. Marvel Boy with Kitty Pryde. Could always Strong Guy. 0 Blade. Gives us a free raft resource we can lean into. They'll probably have one as well. Scar, not bad. And with the Kitty Pryde, they can do additional things. If they have a surprise Galactus, might be cooked. Why not 0 Titania? 0 Titania is probably better, but we do have a lot of power over there. Oh, I guess we needed the blade to be able to activate the Strong Guy. You're right. We did draw Black Swan finally. Titania for Galactus, yeah. But we don't have initiative, which is the bad thing. if we go this, we absorb 2. Strong Guy does activate, but it's not a good guarantee. Okay, they they win mid. They absolutely win mid. We win the right lane. Had we played our Scar mid, that was a risky play from him. We had several ways to be able to win that one. The Goliath solo in mid seems wild, knowing that we both had a raft resource, but it did pay off for him. Swan has vacation. Yeah, Swan put in vacation time. We did lose the 50-50 loss. But to be fair, the last couple of days I've won a lot of the 50-50s that we've been in on, and so it's not too big of an issue. But yeah, it's time for a quick ad break so that I don't have to end up wasting all of my snoozes. We're gonna run to a quick break. I'm not going anywhere, but a minute and a half, and then we'll be right back into it. And maybe we'll actually draw Black Swan. Who knows? We'll see. Also, what type of deck was opponent running? Young Avengers. The Kitty Pride, Wiccan. I think it was just like a decent Wiccan deck. Uses Kitty Pride to even out the curve. Probably had Kate Bishop, Eliath for that finisher. I think it just seems like a decently. And then Speed. Speed is also, I think, maybe underutilized. He's a very easy to drop card that scales decently. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. The ads should finish up right around the time that we do. Speed is great for Wiccan Ramp. Yeah, Speed, especially because you're wanting to curve into your good cards, or you use all of your energy up to 4 anyways. So it usually ends up getting decently big most of the time. It's just, it wasn't a card that had a lot of flair, and so it wasn't really exciting. We do get Black Swan. Black Swan in an early draw does exist, you guys.
Taking aim.
So we have Hawkeye. Probably, it looks like, I think Jeff Hoogland is one of the biggest advocates for Hawkeye in your like bounce decks, and so I think that's probably what we're facing here. They do have a beast, so I think it's just like Hawkeye, a bounce deck. But with Black Swan, I think we're in a really, really good spot. And Bald Teeth, thank you so much for resubbing with your Prime for the 3rd month. He said, love the content. Thanks for all the work. Thank you for being here, Bald Teeth. I appreciate the support and appreciate having you. Let's go ahead and do Beast into Astrodim. Yeah. Let's do Beast into Astrodim. We could position like a Martyr into Eternity range to try to make sure that we don't lose that one. But I think this is fine. We'll be able to do Dracula, but we're trying to look to fill it up early, because otherwise our 4 costs, our 3 and 4 cost cards are just going to pull over there anyways. So Sable, Pim Arrow, and then Grapple Arrow. So they will have Beast. Beast will pull over into Eternity range if that's what they start with next turn, which is big. Hitmonkey is also pretty big for us. We're wanting to see the Red Hulk, the Infinite, something massive for our final turn. The Wiccan. Okay, it is Wiccan bounce. They played on curve all 3 turns. True. So oh no, they got bamboozled by the Asteroid M. We'll take it. That's super unfortunate, for sure. Let's go Black Swan into Windpool. Windpool's gonna pull over to the left, so that's fine. We win the left lane. It's just a matter of winning one of the other 2. So Gwynpool on the right, it pulls left. We can use our cheapest or lowest power card to the left at next turn, or at the start of next turn. Oh, snap, please. We should have snapped, but I was really interested in just being able to see it play out. The Hitmonkey bounce becomes big. Very big, very scary. Okay, a good spread on what Gwynpool hit for us. Then Infinite. Not bad. Because we could go Red Hulk, Ant-Man. Ooh, I guess with Blade. Maybe it is bad. Because, let's see, Ant-Man to the left would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the 3 from Hitmonkey. Martyr may be the bane for us here. I continue to wish that it was Hydra Bob instead. Because Martyr can jump over to the right. She'll be able to abandon ship. We should be able to win left even with the Hitmonkey pull. Can't mods refund points though? Yeah. And then Angel, I have to work for it, but I do with passion. We do have Bob. I meant more and more. I'm wishing that like taking Martyr out of the deck for Bob, because I think I think that will be the better performer. Just depends on where we want to put our big explosion of power. And I'm gonna put it into mid and hope that they don't hit Monkey there. Big Bishop. Nico, hit Monkey right. Hit Monkey right. Oh no. With Hood, it's got to be hit Monkey mid, isn't it? Demon! Facing all of the demons. We do get the right call with the Hit Monkey. Hit Monkey is huge for them in the right lane, but our Red Hulk wombo combo is going to be a bit bigger. With the Ant-Man, we didn't have to worry about discarding or accidentally discarding the Infinite. We can let the small Hit Monkey into the left. We'll take mid, we'll take left. We'll take the 2 cubes and jump over into the next one. So technically I could refund, but I don't do it. I appreciate that, Angel. You have the infinite money glitch. But you're not utilizing it. So there are a couple of games with this deck that I want. Actually, maybe it was just one that I wanted to grab from the video on demand whenever we do it. Whenever we do end up ending. Now a reminder for Bob. Yeah, I want to continue out with Martyr, but I agree. I agree that Bob was probably better here. But I think since I've already started I've got some clips with Martyr. I probably just put the overarching replacement in like the deck explanation if I end up doing a video on it. And so Ant-Man 0, let's go ahead and skip on 1 against Malinois. With New York, we can reposition our cards. We have the Gwynpool, cheaper Hit Monkey. All of these things are looking beautiful and allow us to just kind of coast the first couple of turns. We can coast through them, not have to worry about playing any of the cards out. So like we're not as susceptible to like dagger move versus other decks. I kind of think we go 0 Martyr here. That way we get the extra card draw from the Abbey. We do have the energy to be able to go Gwynpool, but then we won't get the extra card draw, and I think we want to dig through it. And then maybe we just abandon the Hit Monkey line, but with the discount from Utopia, with the extra card draw, we'll definitely be able to play most of them onto the board. Nico's going to copy whatever they play next. Could be a clutter tool like White Widow. I think there's no telling. Get Infinite, Strong Guy. No Black Swan though. Fortunate. She's in the bottom of the deck. Woof. We can go Gwynpool, Ant-Man since we don't have the Black Swan. I think we go ahead and go Gwynpool, Ant-Man. We're looking for Dracula's upcoming turn. Dracula would be big for us. We could do that plus Strong Guy. Ooh, the copy of Sage is big. Silver Sable, so their werewolf does get pretty large pretty quick. You are a touch too late, my friend. I'm gonna do one of these. Actually, that's not great, is it? No. We're not gonna be able to activate the strong guy. So even with the extra card draw, we just weren't quite able to get there. We now have Blade, which can get rid of Black Swan, but we wouldn't be able to do another one of our big plays, fortunately. They do have a big Sage. They can shift cards over. They have the mobile power of the werewolf. Even if we did like this with a big Red Hulk finisher, I don't think it's enough unless they just get super unlucky with where they stack their cards. But I don't think it's even worth sticking it out to see because they just have so much that they can drop. That's going to be high power. Feels a bit reliant on discarding here. On discarding or playing your cards out early. Like I didn't curve my 1 costs, and we got stuck with both of our big units. And so, had we got the Black Swan, we can do like the 1 cost Flood, or you want to play them earlier. But Dracula dump. Dracula is a really big piece of Dracula dump most of the time, yeah. Next up, we have Jake, rank number 16, coming after us. We have the strong guy into Gwynpool on curve. Now we just need to see Black Swan before turn number 5 or 6, and we'll be golden. So they skip on 1. Hellfire Club is unfortunate for us unless we get Black Swan. Black Swan opens up the possibility for us to just flood our stuff. Have you considered Nico plus X23 here? More often than not, the combo should work out regardless to destroy spell. That might be a decent one. Gives you a couple of like cheeky alternate plays for sure. I think that's a decent idea. Because you could discard it with Blade potentially. A lot of times I'm saving Blade until the very last turn though, in case we get a draw that is like unfortunate for the Dracula that we've set up. But I do think it could work. The double move of Vulture makes an immediate 17 power. Rough. Let's go ahead and go Gwynpool. We probably should have done maybe Strong Guy and Gwynpool both in mid, since we don't have the Black Swan to position our 1 costs there. So if we did this, that gives us 8 energy on the last turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we can discard. We'll be able to get rid of our entire hand. The dagger, luckily for us, our deck doesn't really do much until the very last turn. I don't think we need to Red Hulk here. I think we're better off doing like 0. No, we'll do 0 last. Do Hit Monkey. That's the only way we can get power here. Actually, with the Iron Fist in the right. Never mind. Never mind. If we can't beat mid, then we can't win. We can't get our 1 cost there. I think Black Swan could have made that one a possibility. But without Black Swan, without Dracula, wouldn't make it happen.
Escaped.
Black Swan ruining our day once again. That's okay. And I mean, it's one of those decks that you can usually identify when you don't have a winning line and retreat out for 1, versus staying in on those ones where you do have the ideal setup and try for like 4 or 8 cubes even. Next up, we have Bright Mayonnaise. We have Black Swan. Have you considered installing a captions extension? Drew, I think that would be incredible, but I don't know. I don't necessarily know where to start looking, but I can dig into it. Because I know that I popped into Eggs' stream yesterday, and she has one. And so I definitely think it's a cool idea for those that maybe either can't listen with audio or that are deaf. It kind of adds that accessibility to the stream. And I know for me, I watch TV with subtitles, just in case one of the words are muffled or hard to understand. So the magic with the Deadpool deck is interesting. We're going to save all of our 1 costs to flood on the last turn. But I think we have a pretty good setup here. We don't have to worry about our 1 costs getting destroyed by like a Killmonger, because we're just simply not going to play them until the last turn. You said Yo-T just saw you live on YouTube and jumped on Twitch. Thank you so much, Drunken King. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you're having a great morning so far. And then Angel, you said, not going to lie, a caption extension would be great for me so I can mod while work. Yeah. I think it's a really good idea. Definitely something that I am open to. I think we just skip here. We do have initiative. We want to see if maybe we can lose it going into the last couple of turns. Deadpool Carnage. So Deadpool didn't elevate as much as I think they would have liked.
My underwear.
I think I'm going to snap into the limbo and make them think that maybe we're going to rip it away.
Snap.
Since we don't have Infinite, I say we're not going to play anything, and then we play or get 7 cards onto the board next turn. Now, the only risk there is if they play into Machine World, we won't draw. But if so, I think that's fine.
Victory.
Anticlimactic. Depending if it works on phone or not. So the way that Eggs, the ones that Eggs was using, I think it just like you set up where the captions are going to go, and it automatically is on the screen. And so I think it would work on phone. Oh, Drew. So you may are you familiar with any of the
Hey, welcome.
extensions?
It took you long enough.
And then Not Epic 001. Thank you so much for the 1 month at tier 1, pushing us that much closer to going full time. We're at 804 out of the 1,000, so we're getting very, very close. We're 80% of the way to making this a full-time reality. So Space Throne in mid is tough. The not Epic. Love your YouTube content. Wanted to contribute to your goal. Thank you so much, Not Epic. That means a lot. I wouldn't be able to hit it without you guys and all of the support that you're throwing our way. So this is a deck, and they're actually running Colossus. I don't remember the last time I saw like a legitimate Colossus run. Okay, so we do get the Dracula for the dump part of the Dracula dump. Let's play it in the Space Throne, and what we're hoping for is no Red Guardian. No Red Guardian. Cannonball would probably be fine because it opens up power for us in Altar of Death. But honestly, I'm not sure what they're running. Okay, Armor. Cerebro 3? Weird Cerebro 3? Maybe they're running a bot deck? Ooh, a low collection level deck. Do Gwynpool, Blade. Maybe not. We can play out Red Hulk naturally. Yeah, we'll do it. Wow, that is stacked onto the Infinite. And that is not what we wanted because we can't guarantee where that's going to go. And I don't think it's ever worth it to not play the Red Hulk out. So we're just going to be at the mercy of RNG. Strong guy is only going to be 3, so we lose the right lane. We just have to hope for a big finish in mid. Hey, Cosmo. Okay, Mr. Fantastic there. What an... I always feel bad when we get matched into people that are like really low collection level. We didn't need it. We didn't need the Infinite. But I'm not going to turn it down. Either one of these would have won mid as well. I feel bad getting matched into low collection level players. And then Blade before pool would have been the play too. But we didn't get punished for it. The sloppy play, but we'll take it. Yeah, Dracula was just flexing there for sure. Next up, we have Cryzite. The first location is Daily Bugle. They get a copy of our... Oh, we don't know what they get a copy of. Could be Dracula, could be Gwynpool, could be Red Hulk. With Blink, there's a few decks that are running Blink right now. We have to look out for them trying to maybe do a Galactus of their own. Or it's just like an Electro ramp that's looking to do some big power stuff towards the end. We do get Black Swan. The beautiful Black Swan. Didn't think she existed. Let's go ahead and play her into, I guess, Daily Bugle. Hella deck? I guess with Blink, it could have been a Hella deck. But the Electro line kind of solidifies it. Let's go ahead and go Dracula to the right. Either right or mid. But I think we're going to go Dracula to the right. We could always Blink rotate one of our cards to try to pull out an Infinite. Destroyer. So it probably is a Galactus, I would say. Ooh, they could Galactus this turn here. Or even here. I bet they have a Galactus in hand, and that's why they blinked over to the right. What if we activate Black Swan? I think just Gwynpool mid. We're weak to a Galactus regardless. But depending on where they play it, we could potentially get the flood possibility of our zero cost cards. Wow. Not what I was expecting at all. No, it wouldn't go off if they did Galactus mid, because it wouldn't have went through that priority. Okay, so Venom and Arnhem Zola, maybe? How do we want to bring this one home? Titania. Hit Monkey. Strong Guy. Martyr Blade. We have the last turn, but we can just play Red Hulk. Or if we draw a 1-cost card, we can... I guess we're getting rid of our Blink. That's fine. We're going to draw Infinite. No questions. So I did the Titania into the left just in case we were hedging our bets, in case it was Galactus. So Nico plus a copy of whatever they can play next. Carnage. So are we looking at Null? Symbiote Spider-Man onto the Venom. So are they going to do an Arnim Zola? Would it be a merge Arnim Zola type situation? That'd be 33. Can we beat 33 with like a Red Hulk? I think so. Ooh, Null Death? Yeah. Could be a Null, could be a Death. Definitely looks like Zola. Is it Death to the right plus Zola? So like Zola first, then Death? Yeah, Zola first. We don't beat the left with that, and then the Death in the right. Big. It was close. Had we not played Ant-Man, actually, had we not played Ant-Man, we would have won the right lane. Oof. You mind sharing what your day job is? For now, my day job is data analytics. So I look at a lot of metrics, a lot of numbers, and I formulate them into ways that are easy to digest for our leadership. So whether that be like putting large data sets into like a dashboard format and setting up like automation to be able to have those refreshed on a regular cadence, or being able to look out and call out potential like risks with whether it be like higher attrition, higher like, turnover, less like more openings, more vacancies and things like that. So if we're just not getting, if any of our metrics end up being like a pain point, being able to identify and call those out. What'd you have for breakfast? I had a big old glass of water, is all that I've had. I woke up, put my contacts in, let the dogs out to go to the restroom, and then started streaming. Because I have an unknown amount of time this morning. So I can stream until my daughter wakes up. And so I don't know how long that is. And so I wanted to jump in straight away, and I'll grab something to eat after. When we get the Pokemon content, I'm really looking forward to it. And I can switch over to Pokemon. All I have to do at this point is connect my phone, and we're good to go. And so if you guys want to see a little bit of Pokemon content today, I can load it up. No issue at all. Quinnicky said I tried contacts and I couldn't put them on no matter how hard I tried. It was a struggle for a long time for me to be able to get over the like fear of like me putting my finger like next to my eye. Like it used to take me like an hour to get them in, but now it's just like an easy pop in, pop out. They do irritate my eyes somewhat, but otherwise they're good. If I don't have them in, then there's an awful glare on the screen. All right, let's go ahead and activate Black Swan. We'll be able to do the Flood plus Hitmonkey, or just Red Hulk plus the Flood of 1-cost cards. I think is the direction we'll probably go. How does one go about getting Pokemon early? So I don't know about the majority of people, but I moved to New Zealand. I flew out here. I rented a long-term Airbnb. But in my latest Pokemon video, which this is the link to the tweet that has the video, in the description, there is somebody that did find a way for them to not have to move to New Zealand. I of course did, but not sure about what anyone else does. Then Kim, you said, living that streamer life, I see. Best of luck from Taiwan. Steal some cubes. Thank you so much. Or is it Kim? Is it Kim or Kimmy? Either way, thank you so much for the positive words. And then Sylv from the YouTube side said, hey mate, greetings from Germany. For 3 weeks at rank 95 stuck noob. You still have like a little bit of time. I believe that you're going to be able to, I believe that you'll be able to reach it before the season ends. Sadly, the Zealand sealant doesn't work as good, but oh well. Not as well, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and jump over into this one. And then Ziori said, I gotcha. I think I might be moving there as well. Maybe I'll see you when you're there. I'd love to be able to see you. So I can do a poll. So poll. Let's see. I'll leave the poll up for 5 minutes, but we're gonna do a poll, and whatever chat decides, I'll play. I don't mind playing more Snap. I don't mind playing Pokemon. I haven't gone through and done any of my like pack pulling this morning. I only have a handful to pull from. Maybe it's like one, maybe two to pull for the morning. I only pay for the season pass in Marvel Snap. Will Pokemon be as free to play as Marvel Snap? So, I think so. But I think it's a much slower burn, Mr. Simba. So, from what I can tell, and from what I've played so far, the initial like 2 to 3 hours, if you grind through all of the things that pop up, you'll typically be able to get about 30 to 40 packs, but after that it like slows down dramatically, and so at that point, after the initial like 40 packs or so, you're kind of at the mercy of just opening 2 per day. And so, like the initial burst, you can usually get like 1 decent deck, and then after that, if you want to pull more faster, you'll have to pay. But I also think that within maybe a month and a half of daily logging in for the double pulls, you'll probably be able to have the majority of the collection. Because I'm with the 30, on both accounts I ran, I was able to get over or right at half of the current acquirable cards. I was able to get right around half of them. And then Dark Move said, didn't expect to stream early on Sunday, which is great. I'm working today. Hopefully the workday goes quickly for you, Dark Move. Oh, like this maybe? They probably have a pretty big finisher as well, but Strong Guy doesn't proc because we have 2 cards, so either Blade or Dracula would have allowed us to get there. So let's see. We have another couple of minutes for if you guys want to see more Snap content or Pokemon. Right now, Pokemon is in the lead, but we've only had a handful of people vote. And so let me know which one you want to see me jump over into. I'm okay playing both. I like both of them for a little bit different reasons. Pokemon definitely seems a little bit more like it's newer, and so there's that like that buzz of it being new. Crazy that they left their Dracula. Oh, Martyr stabs us in the back. Had I moved Black Swan instead of the Martyr, I forgot about Martyr. If that was Hydra Bob, we would have been all good in there. Then Morning TLSG is Silver Sable worth tokens for bounce decks. Silver Sable is amazing in bounce decks, especially with Toxin. Toxin coming up next month as like a huge tool for bounce. I think Silver Sable will get even better with that card because you'll be able to bounce it. You can either, I don't know if bounce decks will run all three tools as far as Toxin, Beast, and Falcon, or if it drops the Falcon, but you'll be able to pull in Silver Sable multiple times per game. And so we're going to run to a quick set of ads as the poll finishes up. Okay, so it does look like Snap took a commanding lead. It is 14-7, and so we have just a little bit longer. We're going to run a minute and a half of ads, and then I think it looks like we'll continue with the Snap content. Unless some kind of crazy shift happens. So we're still struggling to get Black Swan early enough to get her activate down, which is awful. We've played several games and only been able to get the ability to activate 5 times. Which would be the same issue for any activate ability or any activate card. It's just we're not drawing her early. All right, so it looks like we are sticking to Snap. We'll cover Pokemon some other time. And I may switch back over to our discard deck as well. I want to finish out and get Black Swans activate 3 more times to finish off the legendary bounty, and then we can go something like discard. I think that's the thing. That's the deck that I was looking forward to running. It's kind of a basic idea, but I think it's in a pretty good spot right now. Which card do you think will be most impactful next season, as all the cards are based on each archetype? I think they're all gonna have some really good strengths. So I'm gonna lean into and say Toxin is gonna be like the most impactful because bounce is already really strong, and I think that's gonna make it even more so. I think it's gonna continue to elevate it and make it even stronger. But with that being said, I think that something like Scorn could be fantastic for discard. It could be fantastic for like a Gambit machine gun. So like Wong, the Steep.
Hey, welcome.
Into,
it took you long enough.
Like Gambit into like an Absorbing Man, and then you have those come back into your hand and get power on the board from your Scorn, which I think is going to be potentially really impactful as well. So they have a Sage in hand. Sage advice. You can also go Brood, get the benefit from Weir Island. But I think instead we're going to go like Dracula mid. See what we can go from there. Scorn does look like a major, like a sleeper card. Yeah. I think with both regular discard, I think with a Dakin discard could potentially be really good. And then like the Gambit stuff where you can just trigger it an ungodly amount of times. I think it gives it that pretty valuable resource as well. And then I think Agent Venom will be fun, but I don't think it. I'm not as excited about it as I think some of the other people are. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be at the worst decent. But we'll see how it turns out. Anti-Venom is hit and miss. Yeah, I think Anti-Venom is going to be very tough to use. And I'll do the card for Anti-Venom. It's the 4 cost, 6 power that sets the next cost and power of your next top card to 0. So maybe in like a ramp style deck, maybe you get some benefit for it there. You could also use it with like Zabu to curve into a free card earlier. And so maybe you like lean into Anti-Venom, Absorbing Man, Anti-Venom, you go Symbiote Spider-Man on top of it. And you get that effect a couple of times per game so that you have like a surprising last turn play. But I think Mobius will pop up in popularity if Anti-Venom is ever very strong. Maybe an ongoing deck with Onslaught. Could make for a pretty surprising like last turn play, yeah. All right, so we could just Red Hulk right and assume that they abandon here with the fear of the Dracula. We could also flood like Ant-Man. We got Black Swan on the last draw as well, which is the biggest downside to the activate abilities. We could do this, but then this still is a toss-up. I think if we have a shot, it's going to be this and just abandon the strong guy thing. Okay, the Arnim Zola was wild. We do need a decent hit from Dracula here. That is not a decent hit. Well, I think the other play would have won that one for us. But the Arnim Zola as that finisher feels wild. Anti-Venom and Luke Cage. Yeah, definitely. Or even like as a backup line, Shadow King. That way you could just lean into it being like the free resources rather than having its power taken away. And then Soccer Playa 182. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Your notification should go off.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Very much appreciate the support and appreciate you being here. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. So let's go ahead and skip here. We might play 2 cards into the Abbey next turn, depending on what we have. Then the Nexus. You said Anti-Venom is literally gonna be the best card of the season. Yeah, I think Anti-Venom. You think Anti-Venom's gonna be the best? Free card without any drawback? That's if you get the Luke Cage. Because it's going to set its power to 0. So if you don't have the Luke Cage, then you just get a free card. And so you could stack some on reveals. It does make the read of what your opponent is going to, or what your opponent is going to do on that last turn. So it makes that like counter anticipation. So you might overstay as the opponent. Not knowing what is within that wheelhouse. But I feel like it's going to be very hit and miss. I'm glad to be proven wrong, though, Drew. We'll see whenever it comes out. He said Misery will lead to some crazy playlines. Misery is maybe like a clog tool or an anti-clog tool, which is crazy. So the card Misery, she's going to re-trigger all of the on reveals and then destroys them. And so I think there will be some interesting ways to utilize that. But we'll see. So multiple man in the Abbey. They do have Madam Web to move into the Nexus. Let's go Dracula or Black Swan. Let's go Black Swan. That way we can flood on the last turn. On 5, we can always do the Dracula line. Ooh, Cerebro 3. Somebody had to feature Cerebro 3 with Madam Web recently. This is the second one we ran into today. We can always break their Cerebro 3 bonus with Titania, which I think is both wonderful and diabolical all at the same time.
Oh, snap.
We're going to go ahead and snap into it. All of these will be free. We can go Gwynpool next turn or just let Dracula absorb it. But I think with Titania, as long as we have room to send Titania their way, I think we're in a good spot. Wait, so multiple man pushing into nowhere. Are they going to change the Nexus? Fast is beautiful. And then Cerebro. Wait, they have Quake, don't they? So the Quake Shake, dropping Quake here, pushing the big power into this right lane. But if we break Cerebro with something like Titania 0, pushes it this way, we can then do Blade Windpool. That would leave this at 3, 6, 12. Be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But we're going to have more power than they do in this mid lane. That's the line I think we're going to go with. And I hope it pays off for us. They could potentially just move the multiple man here and then flood in the Nexus. But I think Quake comes down into the Abbey. That's what my gut tells me. Hopefully they leave one space open for us in mid. Oh no, they did play a card. Oh no, they played a card in mid. We needed to reverse it. They're going to send Titania back our way. We needed to do Titania as the last card. Unfortunate. But we had the right idea, but just the wrong execution. So we definitely could have won that one. Knowing the multiple man went to the right, knowing they could drop 2 cards, we should have. We should have been able to win that one. I just messed up the Titania play. I think that was just me not paying enough attention to it. Unfortunate. We should have grabbed that 8. That one hurts. Knowing that I should have been able to play around like the known final turn play that they were going to go with. I just messed it up. But it's all right. We'll shake it off. We'll shake it off and do better next time. That's all we can do. Yeah, the read line was right. It just the execution was off. All right, let's go ahead and skip here. 0 is gone, and their Kate Bishop is gone, which is fine. Not a big issue for us most of the time, but also not a big hit for them either. Even Otani strikes out every once in a while. It's just it's the worst whenever you have the correct like read line on it, and then just like your execution is wrong. But you can always learn from those losses too. And so we know that our anticipation was right. Just taking that extra second to think about the full play that they're going with could have given us what we needed. So with Rocket Raccoon, I'm assuming we're looking at a bounce deck. So maybe they may have Sable in here as well, so that they have the like plus and the minus. But their early hand has not been that big for them. Going into turn 6, we're probably going to be dropping a Red Hulk. But if we play Blade, we won't be able to do that. Not great. Not great without the 0. We would end up doing this, which is not big for us. I think instead I'm gonna, so 1, 2, 3. We're gonna hope for Dracula. The whole fate of our game here factors on if we draw Dracula or not. We're gonna hope for Dracula. That way we can do Dracula, Blade, Martyr. Ooh, they do snipe our 1 card out with Rocket. Unfortunate. I thought they would have played it into the Strange Academy. Demon in Washington, D.C. is big. I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance. Dracula left. Blade, Martyr, but Martyr's gonna abandon the Ant-Man lane. Is the problem. Always Dracula, but then the left lane becomes a loss. This should be Hydra Bob.
Hey, welcome.
The Martyr stabs us in the back more times than I care to admit here. And then Much Dutch, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. They get the hit with the Rocket again, and then Catch-Ups 123. Thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. And then Much Dutch said Pokemon later. What Pokemon game? So Pokemon trading card game Pocket released and is very, very fun. Or released in New Zealand. And is very fun. The Martyr. That's 2 games that Martyr cost us versus the Hydra Bob. I'm going to take Martyr out. I'm going to stop being stubborn. We're going to take Martyr out, put Hydra Bob in, and I think we're much better off. I think we're much better off with it. But Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket came out. I did run a recent poll to see if people wanted me to stick to this game for a little bit longer or switch over for some Pokemon content. And it was a resounding, overwhelming play some more Snap. And so that's what we're doing for now. We may switch later. We may just cover it a different day. But Pokemon Trading Card Game is soft launched in New Zealand, which I moved over into. I moved to New Zealand to be able to get access. And it fully launches globally on October 30th. And he said Nebula instead. Nebula instead of Hydration. And then Targaryen. We moved to New Zealand exclusively to play Pokemon Pocket.
Snap.
So we do have Black Swan. Let's go ahead and I think Black Swan mid. You should play both games simultaneously. It's the only way we'll be happy. Just hit up a nasty split screen. I already get distracted enough. Gamelab in the right. We could get Hydra Bob. We could get Zero. If we don't put anything there, then we just outright lose that lane. So I think we at least need to... This takes away from like the Hitmonkey Flood for the last turn. But if you go full-time content creator, do you stay with Snap or go with the flow? I think, especially for the... I think the majority, I would stick with Snap. But I think that would leave room open for like kind of shifting around depending on what I'm enjoying at that time. So I think there's... I think after doing the full-time thing for a while, I think there's opportunity to kind of experiment around and play a couple of different games that maybe I don't play on stream right now because I don't have like as big of like a following. But I think primarily for most of it would be a Snap, at least for the foreseeable future. Would you ever go back to your roots and play COD? No, I don't think I could do that. COD brings out something else in people for sure. Always have been a card game lover. Or where does your love of gaming come from? So I do really like card games. but I really like every genre of game. I've dabbled in just about everything you can imagine. Whether it be like single player stuff. I think we skip here. Trying to decide on this turn before we go. If we do play the Hit Monkey, then that allows us to play whatever we draw. Otherwise, we're kind of at the mercy of our top deck. But we do have Blade, I guess. Yeah, we'll skip here. I've dabbled in just about every genre you can imagine, whether it be like single player, whether it be like online or multiplayer. I've dabbled in most genres. So we could Red Hulk. I have to look out for a Shang-Chi, but we could Red Hulk Blade. I guess Red Hulk mid doesn't really do what we want. Okay, we get the retreat. That is fine. Fighting games are the one genre that I am garbage at. So I don't. This is probably super niche, and I don't know if any of you guys will remember it. But there was I think it was a 1-season reality show called, I think it was the Ultimate Gamer or something like that, where it was kind of like a Big Brother type show or like a Survivor type show where they get a whole bunch of gamers into a gamer house and then they do like weekly challenges for different games in different genres, and the person that loses those challenges is voted out. They have to go home. I always thought I would be really good on something like that, except for the fighting game genre. Like I'm garbage at it. I don't know how people transition from one fighting game to the other, because you have to put a lot of time into learning like the timing, the combos, that sort of thing, and it's just never been my strong suit. Anything else has been great. I enjoy racing games, like strategy games, the whole spiel. From online games, I've played a lot of Call of Duty. I played a lot of League of Legends. I played a whole lot of RuneScape before it went into old school RuneScape, and then once they released OSRS, I played a lot of that as well. I played a lot of World of Warcraft, a lot of card games, so Hearthstone. I played Yu-Gi-Oh for a little while back in like the original days of it. Of course, now Marvel Snap. I played Legends of Runeterra. I did a couple of the like tournaments there that you qualified for getting. I think it's Masters in each season, and so those were really fun to do. But I've dabbled in really just about everything. I feel like factory builder games. So I actually downloaded Satisfactory, but I haven't started playing it. But it is one that I think would really I would really enjoy. Similar to like Factorio. I haven't played Factorio. Always really interested me, but I didn't think I would be smart enough to play Factorio. And Satisfactory feels like a good middle ground. He said usually people good at one fighting games transition easily because they understand the fundamentals of timing. OKI, what to do on knockdown, and the economy and buttons. True. Frame data is the biggest thing in fighting games. And that takes some time to learn and understand. Yeah, Sleeper. I think both of those are like the big like backbone of fighter games, and it just wasn't something I was able to get. I get a little bit too nervous in those like head-to-head style matches, where like even if I practice the button timing, for the life of me, I just get nervous, and then like my timing and shifting gets off. And then Eldane, he said, I will also play pretty much any genre except fighting and horror games. I don't mind horror games. They don't have as big of an appeal to me, but I don't mind them as much. So over, and then like Hydra Bob. Maybe Hydra Bob goes left. And I'll activate Black Swan just in case we top deck a 1 cost. But that way we can do Red Hulk plus whatever 1 cost comes our way. OKI is the Japanese word. Short for Akizimi, which means your options when an opponent is knocked down. Ooh, nice. I didn't know that, Targaryen. And then a red, you said, as a fighting game enjoyer, I'm sad to hear that. But you have lots of new games like SF6 and Tekken have modern controls that make it easier to play characters starting out. And so, I've played them and I've dabbled in them. It just... So what if we did Red Hulk and Zero mid? A big push here. If they do play something so the Titania comes our way, we're good. Kind of like it. I don't dislike fighting games. I think fighting games are just the ones that I'm worst at. And so I've played a lot of like Super Smash Brothers. I played a little bit of it was the Looney Tunes. The Looney Tunes game that was out. I guess not Looney Tunes exclusive. But the fighting game there, it's just like the one-on-one fighting games. So like Street Fighter, I liked to play those in the arcade whenever I was younger. I owned several of them. I just wasn't as good. Same thing with like Mortal Kombat's. Always decently fun. I just wasn't amazing at them. Multiverses. Thank you, Eldane. The name was slipping my mind. All right, so we finished off the activate mission. The deck data overall with hydration, Bob much better, but overall I think it's an okay list. We did go positive, but it was very back and forth, and so I think a couple of the wins that we could have done that maybe we just kind of misplayed a bit could have helped shift things back in our favor. But let's see. Oddly enough, the stories for the Mortal Kombat game are not bad. Yeah, they're not bad. I think it definitely does put a little bit more work into like having that storyline. Growing up, I really liked Street Fighter, and I played a lot of characters. What I ended up having to do as a kid was just I don't know the names, but it's the guy that has the really stretchy arms. I had to use him to spam because I could create some gap and some space to be able to spam kill the bots that I was playing. Dalsim, yeah. Whenever I was little, it was just kind of whatever war cry they made or whatever ability they had is how I identified them. Did you get to the bottom of your OBS issue? Eldane, I have a pretty good idea, but I don't know exactly how to fix it. So it's linked to the stream elements overlays that I had. So like the factor pop-up that was typically like right over here to the right or on the right side of the screen. I think that was causing an issue whenever I would switch scenes. I don't know which one or what it's tied to or how to fix it, so I just removed them for now. And I'm also not switching scenes because I'm afraid to. Yeah, so I got rid of it today, and I'm also not switching scenes just in case, but that seems to be the root of it. And then Roman on the YouTube side said I'm a Super Smash Brothers god. And so that's the scariest thing for me with fighting games is that casual players, the skill gap between casual players that play quite a bit and people that truly are good at the game, that skill gap is enormous. Most other genres, like if you have a good understanding of like the fundamentals of like strategy, you can find a way to be decent. But you can't do that with fighting games. So you can't just like adapt your way into it. You have to really know what you're doing. So we do have the blade, but I don't know that we're gonna throw it just yet. I think we're just gonna skip here. We'll go double Dracula next turn, and then maybe it becomes Dracula into a double Modok. Would be cool, but we'll see. The skill gap in anything in life where someone is dedicated is enormous. That's like picking up a basketball and playing against someone who plays D1. Yes. But I feel like at card games, since the channel is largely based on card games, I feel like with card games specifically, you can get pretty, you can do pretty well if you already have a head for like games and strategy and just like a general idea. Even if you haven't played card games before, you're able to kind of read and outmaneuver the opponent. But no, I so like Call of Duty, somebody that invests a lot of times, it's kind of the same thing. Someone that invests a lot of time into it, it's going to show over something else. So I think we play the Swarm so that we don't discard it. And then we try to go for like a cheeky Moon Knight. Maybe we go with a Gambit next turn. We'll see. We'll see which Gambit we go with. I think Ajax is scary. So a double Hazmat could come down. So maybe we make them lose their Hazmat. No, they don't have a 2-cost. They don't have any even cards. That's nice to see. This is what we're going with. I am just making the assumption that they change... oh, wait. That they use Nocturne to move and change the right lane. So maybe it's like Gambit Blade. And so I don't think Sinister London is going to remain Targaryen. Oh, no. The ad started at the worst time. All right, you guys. Well, what are you going to do? Great play, yeah. Yeah, it was a good play from them, being able to hit the guaranteed Dracula.
I am reborn.
I don't like it, but I respect it. So saving the Red Guardian to hit Dracula to be able to kind of bait us into the 4 instead of the 2 cube retreat was big. When Red Guardian is effective, he's really effective. Red Guardian, Warhead, Juggernaut, Quake, Legion, Claw. Yeah. Whenever they come down, they require a higher level of, like, they're easier to whiff or play poorly. But whenever they're played well, well.
I am Iron Man.
It's unfortunate. Almost any other card besides the Apocalypse there would have been great. Woof. Okay. We're going to have to draw into Swarm to be able to ramp up a potential Morbius. I don't know. We probably lose this one. But we do get the Gambit discard, so we're going to take out their Iron Man. Not the best, but it's not the worst either. Let's do Gambit. We're not going to rotate it because I don't want to rotate it into MODOK and lose all of our resources. Falling Wing, Blade, Moon Knight. I'm going to skip here. So Scarlet Spider. Okay, we do get Proxima, so we could... Moon Knight discard. No, we're going to retreat. Like we need to retreat out. After this turn, it's locked. I'm going to do one Moon Knight rotation. Moon Knight isn't a guarantee for Proxima. It could potentially hit Calling Wing. The Shang-Chi, not a big one. Then Lady Sif does hit Proxima, which is good. Big claw. Not a big meek. Oof. This is our play. This is our play and hope. I think they might retreat if you snapped before turn 5. Yeah, maybe. But they could have what? Arnhem Zola?
Behold my mighty hand.
To the right. To the right. Had Scarlet with Spider went mid. We lost that one.
Victory.
What an ugly game. Ugly game indeed. Do the whew. And then Lucas on the YouTube side. Sorry, I missed this. I saw it, and then I got distracted. You said I'm 32 and I've pretty much moved to single player games only. It's been great. Can't keep up with the 12-year-old kids anymore. It's just, if you have more time to play, it's really hard to keep up with those that are playing frequently. And so I would agree. Some of the like chillest times that I've had were in I did the video series on my alternate YouTube channel for Terraria, and it like the hours that I pumped into that were like so like serene, like you don't have to worry about any kind of frustration. Same thing with Baldur's Gate 3. I ran through it on the first time I played Baldur's Gate 3 was right when they released Honored mode, and so I figured I might as well throw it into Honor mode and see. I lost the first time really early on and jumped into the next one and had a lot of close calls, but eventually was able to make it through the entire game on Honored mode. And I tried to make sure that I did everything in each act before moving on to the next to like capitalize on my experience. I almost lost to one of the dragons in Act 3, and then the very last fight, I almost fell off one of the platforms and died. I was super nervous for the for the last fight because you've pumped so many hours into it. But he says Snap has been a saving grace for me though, and that's good. A lot of people have overplayed Snap to the point where it's like really frustrating to them. And if it's frustrating, then you know I've played games in the past where I had to give up and I just kind of consume content after that because it's just not something that I can play anymore, or I can't play anymore or enjoy anymore. What class did you play? It was probably a broken one. So I did a early game was an Oathbreaker Paladin because he just was able to kind of push through everything. One of the other classes was the I think it's Tavern Brawler Monk, which is crazy. Absolutely was broken. They may have tuned it down since then, but at the time, absolutely broken. Towards the end, I switched. I think it was the Paladin over to. Maybe it wasn't the Paladin. I switched one of them over into a Bard to be able to do like some big action surges and things like that. And then my other one was a Sorcerer class. I don't remember the last one. It was a game that I surged and played so much of for. It took like maybe 3 weeks to get through the entire thing, and I played it like every waking moment that I had spare time. I played it and then promptly forgot after that. He said doing a Dark Urge run now, and then my next will be Honor mode or solo run. Terrified already. You've got it, Mark. You absolutely have it. I have full faith in you. So we don't have any of our good like engines here. They do win the right solo with the hood. So I think I'm going to try to do... I know that it ruins our... I know that it ruins our potential for a last turn discard, but we're not going to be able to do much good anyways. I'm going to throw Gambit, see if we can get lucky and snipe out the hood in the left. Oh, wait. Proxima goes over there. Woof. I forgot. And then Just X, hi, can you play Gambit with Mystique and Wong or something like that combo? Just X, welcome in. That combo is very like hit and miss. It takes a lot to, it's very fragile, so it takes a lot to set up. It loses to like an Eliath, loses to a Cosmo, or even like armor. But what I do think is going to be good for it is that Scorn, a card that's coming out soon. It's coming out next month. Will add power to every card on discard. So it's going to, when it's discarded, it will add 2 power to itself and one of your cards on the board. And so if you use that in like a Wong, Mystique, Gambit style combo, you're going to be able to add power onto the board as well as start deleting your opponent's cards. And so I think there's going to be a lot of strength in that. That's when I'm going to start experimenting with the machine gun style or Exodia style Gambit again. So next up we have Potato Farmer. We have dropped a little bit of rank today. So I haven't... We'll get it back right here. Wait, you said free card? Agony is the free card. So Agony is going to be released alongside High Voltage. So if you engage with the play mode or the game mode, you'll be able to unlock Agony. And so it as it is right now, it doesn't feel like it's going to be an insane card, but one that will be, I think, just nice to have. Go ahead and go Morbius over to the left. We have our Lady Sif. I haven't seen Swarm, I think, except for our very first game with this deck. So it's one of those that you need those resources or else it just kind of combo falls apart. She's a cheaper Forge. Just doesn't own reveal, so can't reactivate with Odin. A cheaper Forge and a cheaper, I think, Hulkbuster is another like comparison. The lowest cost card with Calling Wing would be Swarm. When it merges, does Agony replay the on reveal? I doubt it. That feels like it would be super broken, but maybe. There's always a chance that happens. I like the Odin plus Wasp plus 6. If I play a Forge list, yeah, that one is always a crazy one. But whenever it pops, it can pop really good. Let's go ahead and play out our Dracula. We don't really want to discard Swarm too many times because we do want to be able to get rid of our key cards in case we draw like an Apocalypse. Have a Namora list that uses that combo. Ooh, nice idea, because then you can set up the Forge. Namora is an alternate line where you can just do the like Odin to re-trigger into, or Wasp into Odin into playing something else. Or no, Odin into Wasp somewhere else. So we do get the Apocalypse. Let's see. If we do Modok here, Proxima, I think Proxima goes over to the right. We'll have 4 swarms and 7 years ago. This will leave us with exactly 3 spaces to play, so we need to play out one of the swarms. Actually, let's play out both of the swarms. Then Philosocopter, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. I think we do this. Proxima comes down, and that way we can play whatever we draw next turn. I'm assuming Agony does not work with Brood, so it seems kind of limited. Let's see. After you play a card here, merge this with it. Yeah, because Brood would reveal first. So the Killmonger comes down. Interesting. So our board space concerns were not concerns. Proxima shifts over to the left. We could have done the swarms and let those roll, but unfortunately. We have the big apocalypse in the right, a decent amount of power here. Let's go Gambit mid. That beats just a death play. Null, however, does get pretty scary. And they have a free death. Gambit guaranteed to hit Wolverine or X-23. Yeah. Yeah, but it is what it is. Then Milk, I missed your message that was a while away, but said I made it to Infinite with a Havoc deck this season. Would you be interested in trying it out? What kind of Havoc deck? Because if it was a small movers deck that ran like Goose, Madam Web, your like Dagger, Iron Fist, in that case, I did a video on it a while back. But otherwise, I'm always interested to see Havoc work. When he works well, he works very, very well. 3 out of 5 to not hit one of them. That's true. Very, very true.
I am Apocalypse.
Enough said, bub.
Fortunate. Had we done Gambit to the left, our initial gut impression was right. Gambit to the left was the answer. Gambit left won us the game. And that was where my gut told me to play Gambit. But then I started overthinking it, thinking about death here. Woof. That's a couple of big 8-cubers today that we really shouldn't have lost. We're not playing at the top of our game. Yeah, and it came down to 1, what Gambit hit, and then 2, where the opponent played their cards. Lanum, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. I really like the Dolphin Arrive emote. I enjoy that one quite a bit. Hopefully you're having a good Sunday morning, a good start to your Sunday morning so far. So this one's maybe not it. I may shift over and try some other deck as well. I have one other one built out because I'm not seeing a lot of Killmonger in the meta. Oh, we have to play to the right. All right, let's go with the Moon Knight. Maybe we take out their ooh. So Blade is going to discard their Kyra. Maybe we take out their Khazar. Beautiful Khazar hit. We'll take it. We can get another double discard of Apocalypse with the Lady Sif Blade. So Lady Sif Blade. We're going to have a really big Apocalypse, even if we don't end up getting Dracula down. They can't play in mid. Oh, that's a snap. Are you a football fan? I enjoyed... I like... I loosely enjoy most sports. So I don't follow very many regularly. But my dad was a big football fan growing up, and so I always, watched the NFL games with him. Some of the college games. Went to a lot of... I grew up in Oklahoma, so I went to a lot of like OU football games and a few OSU, but my parents definitely leaned closer to the OU fandom. But I enjoy it, but I don't follow it closely. All right, let's play this one a couple more times. See if maybe I can turn around the bad loss that I got. If not, I'll shift over into my third and final deck that I brewed up for this morning. Especially since I don't know how long my daughter will be asleep for. Sometimes she's up at like 8, Sometimes she'll sleep in a little bit if she's extra tired. She was extra tired yesterday. And then CS Spears said grew up in OU and live in Texas. What a life. I know, right? We bailed on the OU fans. But it's quite all right. A lot better job opportunities in Texas than in Oklahoma, unfortunately, and a lot better school districts, especially for some of the needs that my son has. And so not your typical move, but I am glad that we're here. So the Vibranium, the Magic, could it be a Galactus deck? Just in case, we'll play Dracula mid. Deck there. Ooh. I didn't know we were going to draw Dracula, but I was thinking more along the lines of if we draw Dracula, we would. Gladly take it, though. Hood and Viper? Yeah. So it's a clutter deck instead of a... one of the other decks. So instead of MODOK here, we do have an extra turn. So I think I'm going to go Meek into Moon Knight. The advantage that Meek gives us is that they won't be able to fully cap this lane. So a Goblin, a Debris, whatever it ends up being, we still have a space to play or move Meek out, which I think is big for us. I actually think we're going to go Blade plus Moon Knight. Blade gets rid of the Apocalypse. Moon Knight is a 50-50 between these two. And then we have an extra turn to be able to drop MODOK whenever we want to.
I am Apocalypse.
You said ask about football. Figure I give some sort of info on your sports backstory. I appreciate it, JR. I'm a racing fan. So the Ajax. All right, so it's a clutter Ajax list. Gambit would be a split between MODOK or Apocalypse. There's a 1 out of 5 chance we just snipe the Ajax entirely. I'm torn between doing the Gambit and doing the MODOK, but I think I'm leaning closer to doing the Gambit. Let's do that and see what we hit. Yeah, there's a 1 out of 5 of hitting the Vibranium as well. But it's the odds that we're willing to take here. And I'm gonna fill up mid. You said smaller chance they have priority? True. I was gonna take it back, but no time for that. The Titania, the Demon, they were gonna try and clutter us in mid. No such luck. Close. It was in the right lane, just wrong execution. A big hazmat could be scary for him. I'm gonna let Dracula absorb the swarm. Why would you do that? I wanted to get cheeky and see if I could cheat a win by him. But I'm not confident enough in it to bet much on. I'll let it play out. And then Decisive Doozy, thank you so much for the resub with Prime. For the 2nd month, my fave snap tuber, easy. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for the support. That puts us at 809 towards our 1000. And for you, we are going to send this and hope that we're able to read them like a book. The Vibranium can't get destroyed here. The Hazmat comes in, so Ajax is huge, but our Apocalypse is bigger. We're going to be able to hold down the cheeky win here in left, in mid, by playing out the Apocalypse instead of letting it absorb with Dracula. We'll grab the 4. What a game. My goodness. All right, so maybe we will give it a little bit longer of a chance. We lost the 8, but we could have easily won the 8, and then we'd be much higher up. And then Krispy Kreme with the emote only chat, you said hindsight and everything, but why Cannonball left? So they did Cannonball left. What did they play over to the right? The Hazmat? So Cannonball left, I think, was the biggest base power that they had. And I think they were assuming that we didn't have a big power play over there. Or maybe they didn't know exactly how much power Apocalypse had. And we're hoping that the Cannonball was enough. Or that we didn't fill the lane or that we didn't fill all locations. I don't know. I don't know, Landum. I could see me making the same play potentially. You said he thumbed you. You gotta return the Deadpool. I try not to react whenever somebody does one of the like maybe emotional or like last minute snaps. I try to just let them kind of go through and roll off rather than acknowledging them. We're gonna launch into the 2 minutes of emote only. And so we will play through this game. Next up, we have Enef, and Enef is Enef. Let's see if we can get this win. It's an Arisham deck, and they start with Quinjet, which is beautiful for them. Then Project Pegasus comes in. We can do Dracula Moon Knight. Dracula Moon Knight. Moon Knight is guaranteed to hit Apocalypse because of the Icebox, which is big for us. And we get to stage our Dracula so that we have that big power pressure in mid. And then JR Racing Fan said snap on it. We will redeem your snap and we'll push here. The copycat came down. What was the copycat? It was Meek. Okay, interesting. Do they lose anything? Okay, Gamora. Gamora's fine. And it does scale their copycat, unfortunately. Savage Land. Very savage. Our lowest cost card would be Gambit, so we don't want to Calling Wing. But I am going to do Gambit. I hope that it hits Apocalypse. But even if not, I think that's okay. Let's go Gambit left. We have quite a few opportunities to hit bad cards, freeing up some space for them in Savage Land, but I think that might be okay. War Machine. What can we hit? War Machine? Copycat? We do discard the Apocalypse, so good flip. War Machine is now out of the mix, and their Makari capped them out in the right lane. JR Racing Fan, you were right to redeem that snap. My goodness. That's the... I feel like that's the guaranteed win at this point. We can go Morbius, Calling Wing. Our Proxima will jump over here. And so we'll have to play something over there, whether that be MODOK, whether that be a Swarm. We'll have to play something there alongside it. Unless we did Mobius, it goes to 5. No, then it would go mid. Let's go ahead and go with it. We'll go with our gut. Proxima goes over there. Moon Girl. They do have the discount from Quinjet, so they could do some pretty explosive plays. And Lady Sif is beautiful. Let's go ahead and throw it over into the right lane. If they have a randomly generated Claw, Blue Marvel, maybe even Khazar, we might be in some trouble. Otherwise, we're in a really good spot. Our Apocalypse is massive. Morbius, massive. And then we could always just outright play the Apocalypse left if we feel like they're going to really hard pressure the mid lane. So Hawk into the left lane, and then we do get Blade. We could discard Apocalypse 2 more times. But I feel like we do the same thing that we did last time. We Apocalypse left, let mid take Blade and scale up the Morbius. Then we call it good. Bondo, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. Enough is enough with the Arisham decks. We'll take the 2-cube retreat. Jump over into the next one. We had a little bit of a rough patch, but that's, I think, going to be the nature of discard decks. If you don't get Apocalypse in hand, if you don't get Swarms, there's really not much you can do. And then we, of course, lost the tough 8-cuber. But we've been turning it around since then. Oh, I forgot about the emote only chat. Oh my goodness. Let's free you guys from the emote only. I apologize. JR, you said soon as I saw Proxima and Apocalypse opening draw, I was like, you snapped this. You weren't wrong. And then Katos said, hey, TLSG just hit 8k plus snap points for the first time with the help of the Dracula dump deck. Huge, Katos. I'm glad that it's working well for you. I think with the Bob change, much better than with the Martyr. And so I'm glad that you were able to hit it. Congratulations. Hopefully it continues working well for you. So we do have Swarm in our opening hand. We have Dracula as well. And Lady Civ. So we can really start getting some stuff snowballing. And then Savage Land for the second game in a row is not what you want to see. But we do have Morbius so that we have that scaling power. So even if they are running Clutter, then it's not completely awful. They could have Viper, but they'll have to respect how big Morbius can potentially get. So the snap tells me maybe it's White Widow. Yeah, White Widow. So the full Clutter, they will still have to respect the Morbius, which is the great thing about this. If we had had Meek, we would have played Meek there, and that opens it up even further. But this is now a 50-50 between Scar and Apocalypse. You can also do Calling Wing, which guarantees hit Swarm, but I think we go Lady Sif instead. We have to look out for all of their full Clutter capacity, but we want to get as much discarding in as possible. We are going to go to turn number 7. Scar is now gone. We do get MODOK, so we Dracula here. We can do MODOK next turn for the Hood Viper in the left. Hood Viper. I think we avoid playing into the left lane to try to keep that space open. So we could go MODOK here. We could also end up doing like Moon Knight, but with limited space, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think the MODOK is better because it scales our Morbius, which I think we're going to need quite a bit. And then Lucas on the YouTube side said, I've been playing the Dracula dump tech as well, but subbed in Rocket, Bob, and Sable for a Zero, Martyr, and Blade. Nice. How's it been working, Lucas? Has it been popping off for you too? The Green Goblin Titania. Woof. That double Clutter. Cannonball, right?
Apocalypse.
At this point, Cannonball hits the Savage Land. Yeah. Feels unfortunate. Cannonball can destroy and win them mid. They just have to recall Titania back on their left. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we necessarily need the Dracula to absorb Apocalypse because we can always just play Apocalypse there. But the Cannonball is what we're worried about. I'll skip here. I don't think they're going to be able to rip away Limbo. But unless they mess up, I think we retreat out of this one. This is a leave angle with Cannonball? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely a leave angle with Cannonball. If Cannonball wasn't in the picture, we could always do something like this, get two discards onto the Mobius to give us a little bit more of a push or bump there. But as it is, we're not going to take that risk, especially with the snap. Had they not snapped, maybe we stay for one additional to see if maybe they just didn't draw it. But since they did snap, they're feeling confident. We will we'll run away from that one as fast as we can. You guys are making me want to play the Dracula dump more. Maybe I reset the stats with Hydra Bob in it to see how that goes. I think this card is fine. We're definitely closer to like a 60% win rate with it. It's not much different than what's been around. Let's go ahead and play the Meek, and then we'll see. You're 8-3 with it for plus 13 cubes. Huge, Katos. So that's a good initial sample size. It's not huge, so it could vary. It could just be a good luck at that point, but it's very promising. I've gotten a lot of people that say 20 games isn't enough to know, 30 games isn't enough to know how a deck performs. I think you know relatively early on how well a deck's gonna go. So within like 15 to 20 games, you can usually know decently how it'll perform. Of course, there will be some ebbs and flows, but and then JR said, "Snap! Oh, I missed the ads again. I missed the snooze. I apologize, you guys. I try not to have ads over the gameplay, but I've been slacking." Let's go Dracula Lady Sif. Or actually, we can go Dracula Moon Knight. Guarantee discard the Apocalypse and potentially get rid of one of theirs. And Carnage said, I miss playing Meek. It's been ages. It has... Meek is one of those cards that is not played very often, but can be very, very strong. It helps us with like protecting against clutter in some instances. Let's see what they lost. Ooh, Shadow King. We'll take it. And we can move the Meek over into the Ruins, which protects. I don't think they're running any other clutter, but in case they have like a White Widow, we can position the Meek to be very well off. I think we go ahead and, I don't know, Morbius isn't going to get that big. Versus like a Lady Sif, which discards our Apocalypse again. With MODOK, we can discard it again. But Morbius helps us pressure another lane. So Morbius next turn, MODOK gets to about 8 to 10, which I guess is good for a 2-cost. We can tank some ads, no worries. I appreciate you, Katos. I don't like to have them over the gameplay, but a little bit tired. She won me a lot of games back in the day after her manual move change. Yeah. And I actually, I didn't realize that she was ever not a manual move. So when Meek released, is it a she? When Meek released, I was taking my break, and so I came back and it was already the manual move. So Sable plus Basic Arrow being 7 power is pretty big. I don't have Loki yet, but I have a silly Arsham Collector Dino deck. Skellion just gave me Loki turn 1. They immediately ran. Lanum, you hit him with the Wombo. Okay. I always kind of like to have the option to like not let Dracula absorb the Apocalypse. Because we're already winning here. Blade discards, Meek scales up by 1, so we get 4 more power here. And then 16 on the left, we get a little bit in the right. I think that's what I'm going to lean into. Because most people just abandon the mid lane, assuming that Dracula is going to be massive. And so then you can position that power elsewhere. Ooh, we might lose. Sable scales up higher than Apocalypse. Oof, we needed to move the Meek. It was close. We could have positioned Apocalypse right. But the scaling of Silver Sable, the scaling of the Basic Arrow did us in. This is another close one. Lucas, you said like how Snap has new seasonal menu music. I really wish we could get a new game board for each season. Yeah. I would like at least one or two different game boards just to be able to have them like to switch around. But I am glad that they focus on like the music. I think it's really cool that there's something new, and it's always really good music as well for each season to kind of change that feel or that vibe. Meek was one of my most wanted cards this past year. Did I watch the point redemption? It was a close one. No. You're okay. You're okay, Jr. Honestly, I don't sweat my rank too much, like post infinite, because it doesn't mean anything. If we wanted to try to really grind that high end stuff, I would probably play more of the same decks more often that are like kind of tried and true. But Castle Zemo into the Jean Grey lane is unfortunate. And then Laugh to Say Sane said a resub. Thank you so much for the resub for 1 month at tier 1 for the 4th total month. He said, found a Twitch gift card I didn't know I had. Hope it helps you get your full-time goal. Thank you so much, Laugh to Stay Sane. That does push us to 810 out of the 1,000. So a lot of progress. We need just 190 more, and we turn in our 2 weeks. I have, I think, 10 more days to be able to make that happen. And so we're definitely well on our way. So they sent us the multiple man. We had destroyed their gambit. What did we discard? I was reading the... Ooh, wow. Okay. We discarded Swarm. Beautiful. That is going to be a snap, especially with the Apocalypse in hand as well. Let's go ahead and go Dracula right. That way we have power scaling, and we can see if we can dominate from there. Okay, they called us out with that Drax. I don't like it, but I respect it. Let's go Lady Sif now. Start scaling the Apocalypse. Maybe we'll draw MODOK. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go Lady Sif. We always have a couple of swarms to use on that last turn to help pad the right lane if we need to. See what else they get. The Black Bolt. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tom Sawyer. I don't know that was intentional, but we love to see it. Let's just do Moon Knight here. Moon Knight and see what it hits. 1, 2, 3. So we have plenty of space. Whew, that's an unfortunate black. That's an unfortunate black bolt. And then buff Captain America, please. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. We take out their Shadow King. Beautiful. Magneto does stack our high scaling into mid. So we could... How do we want to set it up? I think it becomes like Apocalypse, Swarm, Blade. That leaves one Swarm to absorb here. This continues to scale. We get the big Apocalypse to the right. That's the only way we're going to pressure the right lane. And then Swarm is what's going to pull into the Morbius lane. Been trying to catch you on the push, but school making it so hard. No. Oh wait, cool. Oh wait. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Proxima discard I think could have been it as well. And so the Namora and the Cable. We tie the right. Proxima left scales the Morbius, and then Swarm Absorption is going to make sure that we win the mid lane. We win left. So we will be able to grab the 4 cubes. Baku jump scare in Arisham is always the worst. But We will take the 4 cubes against Harsham. Jump over into the next one. Would have got it either way. I was thinking if we didn't do the Proxima discard, it might be inconsistent for Swarm, because we only had that 1 extra space. So we didn't have another space for Proxima, unless we wanted Proxima's just power here. But we'll take it. We'll gladly take it. And then Carnage, you said, has there been any word about the snap packs or whatever new way of card acquisition? There has not, Carnage. There hasn't been anything like leaked or data mined. My gut feeling would be if it is something that will create a lot of buzz, it would probably come out around the anniversary, so the 2-year anniversary. I feel like for an event, for a game, if I was just putting myself into like a dev position, if I was wanting to create some hype around like an anniversary event, and if we were struggling to have like returning players or new players back into the game, I think it would be big to be able to kind of have some kind of big change. And it makes sense to have it around when there's already hype for the anniversary, anyways. I haven't heard anything to make me think that, other than just my internal data analyst in me thinks that would make a lot of sense for him. I think it'll be the December patch. You think it'll be pushed off a little bit? So December patch to what? Catch people on like Christmas break, maybe? That's usually when a lot of big things come out for games as well. So I could see that being right too. There's no spotlights data mined. I mean, it might not be variants. Oh wait, there's no spotlights data mined for December. Gotcha. The patch was just now, right? For August. Yeah, so the last patch that we had didn't have any like big new cards. Like it solidified the
Apocalypse.
like the Thor season. How do you feel if they tried giving a free S5 of your choice for an anniversary gift? I think that people would find a way to be mad about it. I think in general it's okay, but I think it wouldn't solve any kind of underlying problems that may be keeping people from joining the game in the first place. I think with snap packs, maybe it's just a new way that they've envisioned being able to acquire cards altogether. I hope. That may be far-fetched, but that's my hope anyways. Let's go. Let's snap it. Let's go MODOK. We discard all of this stuff, and we have plenty of swarmers to play. We have the Apocalypse, and then we do have Dracula down. Only been playing since June, but just picked up your first infinite border. Huge Georgie. Still hate this meta, but definitely improved a ton watching the content. I'm so glad that that it's helpful. And I'm glad that you were able to pick up that infinite border. And so the big infinite left, I hope Dracula shifts over there. That's the only way, well, it's the only way we compete for the lane. I guess we could do like an Apocalypse. Puts us at exactly 31. It's not what you want to see. But we're going to try it.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Snap rewards have always been lackluster. Even the Alliance rewards need a boost. Then again, I'm in a casual, less active clan. I think even for the active players, like it doesn't feel for me in particular. I enjoy getting mystery variants because the more of those that you get, eventually you're going to get progress towards like your albums, which can lead to progression in game. And so I like pulling mystery variants as many as I can. What I don't enjoy is the borders. because it's kind of like they don't mean as much for me.
I'm coming for you.
So Lady Sif, Ghost Rider into the Eliath resummon.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
We're gonna steal the left lane away, and we get the free pass in mid with the Dracula. We'll take the 4. We finally get the best of Dark Moogle. Gladly take it. Did the Alliance rewards suck? So if you're looking at it as I'm only playing this game to get the rewards, maybe. But what I like about the Alliance rewards, especially the direction that they've been going now, is that like I haven't had to run any specific decks to make progress into the alliances because of the them opening up that generalized bounties. And so now there are a lot more of like win with 10 or less, win with 20 or more, and you can complete those passively with a large variety of decks. And so I'm at almost 9,000 just from playing during the stream times and just picking them up as I go. And so if it's more of a like I'm already playing anyways and this is just a little bit extra, each week it does add up over time. And so I don't mind the Alliance rewards as much. If you're just like a casual player that's not playing as much, maybe it feels worse. But I think from somebody that's already playing a lot, it adds a little bit extra. And so all of those little things, from what I've seen and found, all of those little things add up to make some decent impact. So between the weekly missions, the daily missions, the Alliance rewards, the League rewards from time to time, you get a lot of avenues to get progress. And then Binky412 and then Marco Elian 124. Thank you both for the Prime subs and the support that launches us into a level 1 hype train. I think the first hype train of the day, and it pushes us to 812 sub points out of the 1,000 goal. So we are nearing in on that 1,000 mark. And once we do, I will turn in my 2-week notice immediately, and we'll launch into it, focusing on content full time. That I don't agree with the numbers they settle on for their credit rewards, especially for regular players who earn thousands of credits daily, weekly. But if you're, I get that like the 350 feels awful. Like it definitely doesn't feel big. But my counterpoint to that would be, it's 350 or 400 that you're just getting extra on top of like already playing. So if they were going where you have to do like the very specific decks, yeah, I get like that definitely feels awful. If it's where I can do my regular daily missions, my regular weekly, my regular conquest, and get an extra 350 from the Alliance bounties, I don't have as much of an issue there. How'd the Dracula dump deck go? I think it's better than what the stats I have for it is. The stats I had, there was a couple of games where I misplayed, I whiffed, lost a few big cubes, and Martyr definitely held it down. I'll probably switch back to it for a little bit, and put in Hydra Bob instead of Martyr, and I think we'll be in a really good spot with it. So what if we did Calling Wing Blade? That discards the swarms twice. So then we have an easier time doing like Gambit, doing Moon Knight, because we have a lot more targets for it. Are you gonna upload a video on the deck? With what I have right now, no. But if I play it again and the stats do well, we might throw one up on either. I probably have to be Monday. You think bumping up those numbers would hurt the game economy? It might to a degree, but if there is a large influx of like credits or whatever in one avenue, then that tells me that I have to do that. So people that don't want to engage with alliances or don't have active alliances would end up feeling like they're missing out on something crucial for progression. Where it is now, if your alliance doesn't get there, I'm missing out on 300. But if I'm in an active guild, I get 300. It doesn't completely give me a huge advantage, but it's nice to kind of get that support. So let's go with a Morbius and a Moon Knight. We're going to stop roping Skyrex here. See what we hit from there, from the Moon Knight. On our end, it's guaranteed to be the Swarm. On their end, though, it could hit any number of things. So they could have like the big bodies deck, so wanting to do something big on their end. Mockingbird is a major hit for us. And then the old Modok. So, is it ever a Modok spree? It gets 3 more discards, 4 more with Dracula. I guess for each individual, yeah, it'd be 4 more with Dracula, so it'd put 8 more in the right lane. I don't think that'll be enough. I think we lose this one. They didn't snap, though, so I'm going to see it play out for 1 additional. And then Father Newman, thank you so much for the 17 viewer raid. Hopefully you had a fantastic stream. Hopefully your Sunday morning has started off well. Welcome in, everybody. Glad to see you here. We're running a little bit of discard right now, but I might switch back to a Dracula dump deck that I think is poised to be in actually a pretty interesting spot right now, being able to hold its own against a lot of the decks we're seeing. So while we're out here discarding, do you think Scorn will make Swordmaster playable? Yeah. By itself, no. Because then that's only going to be the one target for it. And so like most of your targets are going to be potential hits for the Swordmaster. Maybe alongside like a Dakin deck. Dakin, Scorn, you can discard the Murmaster Shard, you can discard Scorn, and then later use something else to discard the Shard? Maybe. I think it has a good base stat line. It's just harder to get good, consistent value from it. So, like, maybe we see it. Let's see. And then Foster Bader, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a good morning. And then Fothor, you said, life is good? Hope things are going well. Things are going really, really well. We're actually really close to making the leap to go full-time. And so right now, the number that I agreed upon with my wife was 1,000 subs. Will allow me to make that transition, that switch over into full-time content. So Deadpool, we do take their Aranya, we take their Nico. Let's see, Nico, maybe it's Nico Aranya. No, we don't want the 1 costs. I don't really want the 1 cost on the board in case they have their Killmonger. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But we do need to play something, so we might as well play Aranya out. And then, Father, you said booyah.
Hey,
and we
welcome.
had the
It took you long
follow-up with you say booyah, which I don't think I've even seen in them chat anything else. Comes back with the immediate booyah. That is beautiful. And thank you for the 1 month at tier 1. That pushes us to 813 out of that 1,000 goal. So we're getting incredibly close. Very much appreciate it. And appreciate having you here. I think we take the gamble with Gambit. Either that or we kind of wait a turn. We do Dracula and then we have an easier like turn 5 double Gambit or double Moon Knight. Yeah, let's save it. Let's save it for now. I'm going to hold the Nico. 3, 4, 5, no. We're going to play the Nico. Buff Captain, he said, I'm almost certain you're getting it. Just keep doing what you're doing. I'm in the same boat. I think we're very, very close. I think there's a very real possibility that it's going to be, that's going to happen. Because I have 10 more days to be able to hit that 1,000. And I'm going to be streaming every single day of those 10. And I think we're making very good progress towards it. Father, you said you got this. I'm going to jet and hang with the fam, but have some fun and good luck with full time. Thank you so much. Enjoy your family time. I absolutely respect it. I'll have to do the same eventually, but. And then the anonymous gifter coming in with 1 community gifted sub as well. Thank you so much for the support. Pushes us to 42 for the day, up to 814 out of that 1,000. We are on the downhill slide. And so we've been making steady progress every single stream. And I think we have a good shot of getting there. The faster we get there, the faster I will turn in that 2 weeks. And if we get there early enough, then I very well may just extend the I'm going to be live every day from until October 9th through the entirety of October, which I think would be fun and be a good way to kind of like just break into that full-time status, and then we'll kind of reduce down from there into like a more established schedule. So Gambit here is not great because X23 Wolverine, the Moon Knight is going to hit all the bad stuff. I almost want to do like a double calling wing. That is guaranteed to hit Swarm, but then we're also guaranteed to not draw next turn. That's what I'm going to do. We'll have Proxima that we discard with MODOK. Are you a meek enjoyer? I am a meek enjoyer. How excited / nervous are you for the full-time transition? Have to play Swarm. We might have had to.
What a game!
I'm both. I'm very excited because it is getting to the point where it feels like it's gonna happen, but I'm also nervous because that's a big leap. But that being said, as long as we get decent sponsors every month, which the last 2 to 3 months we've been able to get pretty consistent sponsorships, as long as those continue, then we should have no problem. This is an FF. We should have no problem being able to pull it the rest of the way home. Probably should be an FF. You're probably right. I reckon that we should retreat. Definitely should retreat from this one. But on the other hand, let's actually switch this around. We can go Moon Knight first, then the Gambit. Activate Aranya. Actually, we don't really care for it to end up mid. Push right. Mid. I feel like Moonlight last turn might have been a good option too. So I don't think it would have discarded Death Null because of Dream Dimension. Go ahead and see. There's a chance that they do Arnim Zola. The Goliath is so unfortunate though. Well, the dream is dead.
I am reborn.
I'm telling the world, no Zola, it should be Eliath. But so few discard decks run Eliath. I believe you that you said it, Buff. But so few discard decks run Eliath that it made sense. It was a good play, but yeah, not discard. Sorry, destroy. So few destroy decks run the Eliath. I don't think I've ever seen a single one in destroy. Oh, you're just saying they should? I mean, it definitely worked there, and it works as that surprise factor, which I think is Eliath's biggest strength. Next up, we have Junji Enjoyer. We start with the Swarm in hand. We do have Calling Wing to be able to discard it unless we draw Blade here. And if we draw Blade, then we can still discard it with the Blade play. Gambit. So let's go Calling Wing. If we do Gambit next turn, we have 2 really good hits in the Nebula and the Monster. And everything except for Dracula that gets hit is okay. So let's go ahead and Gambit into mid, see what we hit. Hopefully the Nebula. Well, we'll see. Monster is an acceptable second, for sure. Aranya moves over the Vulture, so it starts scaling. Then we do get our Apocalypse. So, go ahead and... Machine World is always super unfortunate with the Dracula, because it makes that last turn discard super inconsistent. But... I think we're still going to play it over to the right. Then Shindig, you said, hey TLSG, how are you this morning? I'm doing well, Shindig. Hopefully you're doing well as well. We've been a bit up and down as far as like our wins and losses, but doing pretty decent, having a lot of good vibes going around. So Moon Knight could potentially hit something of value or of note for him. Even do like Meek Moon Knight? Maybe we reverse the order. I think we lose this one. But I'm a glutton for punishment. Big Legion, so the Dracula consistency is going to be non-existent. So Swarm. Too many. They lose the Dracula that we gave them. Not great for us. Then they can always do Infinite as their finisher. So like a Proxima. Then we're hoping for maybe something big in Machine World. Could do Swarm, 3, 6, 9. Brings up to 11. If they do just an Infinite, that actually hurts them because our Dracula could absorb it. I think they'd much more like flood smaller stuff. Ooh, the Ghost Spider pulling. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be a loss.
Power must be controlled.
The Ghost Spider pulling the Legion was good. I'm gonna switch over into actually the Dracula dump deck. Even if we had full played into mid for some reason, we could have won that middle lane. It would be a really tough read to ever make that happen. Why Meek second? Don't you miss a proc that way? We do, but I was thinking with Moon Knight they would miss a proc. I don't know. So I think it ended up being a wash. We missed a proc on our end, but the one that we generated in their hand misses a proc. All right. Mid would only have been +3. Oh, that's true, because it's monster. All right, so we're gonna run to a really quick set of ads, and then we will jump over into we're gonna refresh with the Dracula dump deck. So I'm actually gonna delete the deck, restart it, because I want to. Right now, since I only changed the singular card, it keeps the stats from when I had Martyr in it. So I'm actually gonna refresh it. We're gonna run to a quick set of ads, and then we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me on a Sunday. We're having some fun, enjoying a couple of different decks, a little bit of upward climbing, a little bit of downward. So I'm gonna throw back on the Uatu and the Galaxy. I always like the Galaxy in tandem with it. All right. Weird for that deck to run Shang-Chi. It's one of those that I run Shang-Chi in a lot of my movement stuff because your movement cards can already scale so much that a lot of times they're not expecting like that kind of heck against them. But first up, we have Shaw 67193. We start with Ant-Man 0. We're going to go ahead and skip. Most of our early turns are going to be skips into the explosive last turn plays. We get Hydra Bob. I think we go ahead and skip one more to see if maybe we get like a strong guy, a Black Swan that we can use next turn. If not, then we will play one of our 1 costs so that we can continue to draw into new cards. A long time thinking. Bob replacement? Martyr is okay. There's some games where if you don't have 0 or if you don't have a full board, she'll stab you in the back a little bit. But I did have Martyr in here a little bit earlier. And then Drunken King with the Hydrate Reminder. I appreciate you. All right, so they go Echo mid, Ebony Maw. Fully expect to see the War Machine. If they're playing out Ebony Maw, I think they're probably pretty confident that they'll be able to play or position additional power over there. I'm going to go ahead and do Black Swan. We'll hold our 1-cost cards. Next turn would ideally be Dracula, but Gwynpool is not a bad like follow-up or second. Black Swan decks I find tough to play. I find it hard to know when to hold and when to bite the bullet and start dropping the ones. Yeah, that can be one of the biggest potential issues with it for sure. So a War Machine,
Hey,
they could have
welcome. It took
Legion
you
as
long
well.
enough.
Not fantastic. So we're going to play Gwynpool. And there's a small chance that I do Hydra Bob next turn into a snap on the last turn to try to push Hydra Bob into the flooded lane. And then Platalion? Thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. That pushes us to 815 out of the 1,000 goal that we have set up. So making huge progress, 43 coming in today. I appreciate the support. Appreciate having you here. Let's keep it with those vocal cords crisp with the hydration. I agree. I agree. You got a good point. So Omega Red. Let's activate. We can do Omega Red, Hydra Bob. If we win the Omega Red lane, then we win the flood lane. Unless they have... Oh, wait. What are we doing? Okay, I guess Hydra Bob's going to jump this turn. Oh, well, that's fine. I guess we can save him for the last turn for a jump, yeah? Let's save him for that surprise jump instead. They could do War Machine, yeah. If they do War Machine, then they can play across the board, but their big finisher is what, like Infinite? Which is probably not going to be big enough. Then we'll be able to do Red Hulk and then just the slew of stuff. Spider-Man 2099? What? I'm guessing this is like a Madam Web deck that wants to like move the Spider-Man into those like lockdown lanes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Red Hulk is just simply better. Red Hulk. Go. I guess we can't force the Hydra Bob to move now. Do they have a way to push into the left lane? I think we're fine as is. We can go Ant-Man. Go 0 or go 0 Titania. We'll do Hydra Bob over here, and then we can just go ahead and hit them with the blade as well. And we put our highest power over here, and they're 1 cost, so they'll all get +2. And then we have the Red Hulk in mid. Let's see what they go with. The Doctor Doom is big in mid, but it's not going to be big enough. We're going to be able to take mid handily. We're going to be able to handily take right as well, just with the big explosion of power. The Heimdall would have been wild, pushing things into mid, but we definitely would have still been able to overpower it with the Red Hulk. And so we'll take the 4 Cuber right off the jump. Let's jump over into the next one. Black Swan feels like an awful draw on 5. It also feels like an awful draw on 6 too. That was one of the issues I was running into earlier. Was like drawing her on 5 or 6 feels terrible. I like that deck. We'll try it if I manage to get that monkey. Hopefully you do. Hit Monkey is one that is always like he's always
Hey,
a good
welcome. It took you long enough.
equity card because of he can just burst so much power out onto the board that it's really hard for the opponent to anticipate like exactly what you're planning on doing. So we're actually struggling to fill up all lanes with this one because this one wasn't meant to be that. I don't think I can drop anymore. Move at least 5 in one match. Probably not going to do that. The 8 Cuber is always a trap. I always go to Proving Grounds to be able to do it. I'll go ahead and pick up. We probably should have just waited. But I'll pick up one more. Fill all locations. And 6 Furnaces. Thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. That pushes us to 816 out of the 1,000 goal. We are getting so much closer to be able to being able to make that a possibility to switch full time. And so I appreciate you being here. Appreciate the support. Shindig said, when you go full time, do you think it'll mainly be Snap, or maybe we get more videos on your other channels? So it'll mainly be extra like Snap streams. The other channel, so it depends. With Pokemon, I think the content from me for that will be lighter until global release. And then depending on how that looks, maybe we make a switch and we do like 50-50. But at least for the foreseeable future, it's going to be primarily like Snap content. I like the idea and the overall videos for like the TLSG 100, so those 100-day videos, but they take so much time to create. So for each one, it takes about 80 to 90 hours. So about 30 to 40 for just gameplay. And then about the same, if not a little bit more, for editing. And so I really like those whenever they turn out, but that channel is definitely a wild card. So the first video did almost 500,000, which if they all did 500,000, absolutely, I'll put that time in and put the work in. But the next one did like 15 and then 30, and then the very last one didn't even break 1,000. And so it's kind of hard to invest that much time into it for like the inconsistent results that it sees. I still want to do more, but it's just finding and figuring out like the best time or how to make it a possibility. Then Zon Aster, welcome in. Carnage, I didn't even catch the opponent's name, but definitely an interesting one. If Deadpool, wait. Is it me or is it crazy that they did Killmonger the same turn that Nico already destroyed Deadpool? They could have saved it and did it again this turn. But I may be wrong. So we do have the Black Swan. Let's go ahead and activate it. We'll be able to do a Flood plus Hit Monkey. But honestly, I think it might be better to do a Flood plus Red Hulk. And we would just throw Hit Monkey out as he is. Why Ben Bro doesn't like to have balanced metas? I don't know that there's not like one particular deck that just overshadows this one, I don't think.
Enough said, bub.
It's just the decks that are there for the most part feel pretty unfun to play against. Playing Killmonger after seeing the Black Swan come down? Yeah, it's also an interesting choice. Because if they could manage to not have priority, then they could take out, you know, our big Flood. So we never win Monster Metropolis, or we never get the highest card there bonus. We can always do Red Hulk, 0 to the Blade. Maybe it's 0, Blade, Titania, Hydra Bob. But if we do that, I want 0 to the left. 0 Blade, Hydra Bob, Titania. That's what we'll lock in. I think we very likely lose this one, but we'll see. We'll see how big they're able to go. I think their death probably comes down in Monster Metropolis, which is why I didn't want our Red Hulk there, because they're just going to get the extra bonus power. Ooh, and Wolverine bounced there as well. Unfortunate for him. Death does come down into mid. Big Red Hulk to the left. We'll be able to outshine the right lane. With the double 5 power cards over there, Hydra Bob, we have the Titania as the finisher. We'll grab the 2 cubes against Destroy and jump over into the next one. And so I don't think it's just completely outbalanced. It's just the decks that are really prevalent don't feel super fun to play against, or incredibly often. But I will say that even with where it feels bad now, the meta in this game shifts so much quicker than like most other card games I've played, that like it might feel bad for a couple of weeks, but at least we know that on the horizon there's probably some kind of change or shift coming. I think I liked this month's meta outside of Hela. Yeah, Hela definitely didn't feel good. I didn't like how much it pressured or put like Clutter into existence. That definitely felt bad. But Clutter and Hela have both felt like they've kind of toned down a little bit. I'm curious with the amount of floating. Does She-Hulk ever make sense over Red Hulk? It lowers the top end, but it seems like you might be better in the event you don't get Swan.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
I do know that Red Hulk can typically scale quite a bit higher, but being able to potentially drop the She-Hulk for cheap along with your other cards might be an avenue to explore too. And then David Massacre, thank you so much for the Prime sub, pushing us to 817 out of our 1,000 goal, getting ever so much closer. One by one, we're gonna get there. As a community, we're gonna make it happen, and that will mean a lot more of me, a lot more snap streams, and it opens up the possibility for like maybe a lot of snap streams, and then we also do like some Pokemon, or maybe we do a variety game every once in a while for something that's big. It opens up a lot of those possible avenues, which I'm excited for. So the Cable and Magic, this is probably, it's looking like maybe a mill deck. We do have the Gwynpool, which can always be good if we drop it on like maybe the last turn. Let's go Dracula. Actually, I think we go Dracula left. Dracula left, knowing that it'll probably absorb an Infinite. A Red Hulk could be big. Gladiator, hopefully not hitting 0. Anything but 0. Anything but 0 there, honestly. That's fine. Oh, rough stuff. Butter my biscuits. You knew I needed some cheering up after that one. Thank you so much for the 5 community gifted subs. Twitch matched 1 on top of it, and so that puts us even closer to reaching that sub goal. If you grabbed one of the gifted subs from Biscuits, make sure to thank them in the chat. Whew. What a game indeed. We could go ahead and go Ant-Man. I'm gonna hold it for now. Either that or we skip. Do we ever? No, they have to have a Shang-Chi. I don't think we leverage playing the Infinite out early. I'm sure that they have a Shang-Chi viable or available. 1, 2, 3. What's that? Might be okay. I love Mill. I say sarcastically. I enjoyed Mill with the Doc Ock. So when Doc Ock was solid and pulled and capped out an entire lane. Not so much now as it was then. So we have just Red Hulk. We have let's see. Do a Blade. Maybe it's Ant-Man, Hydra Bob, Blade, Kid Monkey. They've already burned their Shadow King. So by doing this, okay, their Red Hulk in the left is bigger than ours will ever hope to be, unfortunately. We have a pretty decisive amount of power in the right lane already. And then we can Red Hulk on the last turn. But there's no way that we capture what they can do in the left. So we always lose this one. All they have to do is win here, or just ignore this one, hope that we can't do two. Yeah, we can only do one card drop. So we'll go ahead and jump out of that one.
Escaped.
On the YouTube side, Jesse, you said it's cool to see a classic deck like Dracula Dump still working. Yeah, and I think, honestly, it probably works better now than it ever has. A lot of times it was kind of like a cope deck, where sometimes it could get some explosive power, but usually it wasn't quite enough to deal with all of the cohesive decks out there. I feel like it's much closer now than it ever has been. And then B, you said might have been a mistake, but I got Scarlet Spider. My thought is that over the course of the next month, activate cards will move from gimmick to full-on core components to almost every deck. I feel like Scarlet Spider might be the one that got away. Scarlet Spider may not be the one that comes around, but he might also be in line for some kind of buff or change. Because right now, he has a lot of work for very little payoff. I think in the long term, maybe. You might be right. But only time will tell. Right now, he definitely feels like you have to really build all into him. So when it doesn't happen, it feels bad. Carnage, you said I wanted White Widow this week, but got everything except for her. Ooh, Carnage. That is unfortunate. I apologize. Hopefully your luck turns around. So we're going against Garcia running an Arisham deck. With the, it's kind of funny. I hadn't seen really any. This is a snap if I've ever seen one, right? So we have Black Swan down. We're gonna go ahead and have Strong Guy, and then we can do Dracula plus dump all of these, and hopefully pull like an Infinite, a Red Hulk. This could be a huge game for us. Let's go ahead and snap into it. Breaker1359, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. Now, if they have a way to rip away TVA, then we're going to be very transparent with how much power we have out on the board. We know that they're top decking Arisham here, which is not good for them. Everything else here is great. The Red Hulk, actually, Blade would discard Red Hulk, which doesn't feel fantastic. But I don't know that we ever hold the Blade either. We can go Dracula, Hydra Bob, well, Dracula, Hydra Bob, Titania. Let Dracula go down to a 50-50. We're already pressuring all three lanes. I think it's worthwhile. We do get the retreat. We had the beautiful lineup too. Like that was going to be a lot of power that they had to really fight against. We'll take it. Let's jump over into the next. And Alloy, you said it's kind of cool that a deck that typically doesn't have priority. There are actually one or two cards that really hurt you if they're caught by Alioth on that turn 6. Yeah. Yep. So it doesn't fall too much to Alioth most of the time. And you're not going to have to worry about a Killmonger because you're going to have your power come down after the fact. And so it definitely feels really cool to be able to uniquely drop your priority and then still have just this explosion of turn. Are you on track to hit your sub goal? Breaker, we are looking like we're on track. So I have, I'm going to be streaming every day until the 9th. So we have another, I think it's 10 days. So 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 more streams to be able to hit it, and we only need 176 now, and so I think we're on pace. The faster that we hit it, especially if we hit it before October even starts, then I'm going to extend the number of days I'm going to consecutively be live. I'm going to extend that all the way through the end of October. And so it would be like 31 days of TLSG to celebrate switching over into that full-time status. But we'll see. We'll see if that's something in the cards or not. But it is feeling like it is a very real possibility that we're going to be able to hit the mark. Then Doctor, you said, I feel like this deck has a high power floor, but the ceiling isn't so high. Yeah. So if you run into a Living Tribunal deck or something that's super greedy that goes really, really high, you can't really match it. How many subs left till the goal? So 170 or so, Cody, is left till the goal. So let's go strong guy right. We have 2 Gwyn pools. If we get Hydra Bob, then we could try to position it where it shifts over into Sanctum Sanctorum. But otherwise, we have to rely on winning Baxter building to be enough, which is a scary place to be. And then Masker, said, I believe in you, TLSG. Thank you so much. I believe in us. I believe in the community that we have grown or have been able to grow around the content and around the game, and just how much positivity so many of you guys have. I believe that it is going to be able to be a very real possibility. So what if we went Gwynpool? We go Gwynpool 0, because I feel like we may need we may need Blade to discard something to proc the strong guy. I guess if we're going Blade next turn and not one of the 6 cost cards, then it doesn't matter, because this would be 3, 4, 5, and then maybe we draw like Ant-Man. So we'll go ahead and save the Blade, the 0 and the Blade in hand. I wonder if Sunspot would be better than Blade. Potentially, Duplicius might be a Blade. We do get Hydration Bob. So I think this becomes a Hitmonkey, Blade, Hydra Bob, 0, Snap setup. This is going to be a pretty decent sized Hitmonkey. The Blade is pretty good. We have a strong guy that is going to get the proc here, and then Hydra Bob pops over into Sanctum Sanctorum to help us out a little bit further. And so we're hopeful. See what we can make happen. The Lizard follow-up. So unless they have Luke Cage as well. No Luke Cage as well. And so we should be able to hold down Baxter building. And then technically, it looks like we lose the Sanctum Sanctorum, but with the snap, Hydra Bob is going to do what he does best, and he's going to create those awkward situations that you can find your way out of and find a way to win. We actually win all 3 locations, so it didn't matter if he jumped over or not. We win all 3 locations. We'll take it. Let's jump over into the next one. Yeah, we even got mid, which very, very surprising. The Chavez as that last turn. I'm thinking they're a lower collection level. Yeah. Unfortunately, lower collection level. Because whenever you see a Spectrum, a lot of times that is like your telltale sign. They just don't have as deep of a collection, so they have to like make work what they can. Ooh, we get a couple of season caches here. Let's see if we can get something good. Yeah, 2 lizards in the same lane definitely seems like a questionable call too. Hey, gold. I love the post end of season pass track caches, because you can get gold from them, you can get credits, you can get variants, which I've had decent luck in the past with the variants. The only downside is boosters, but I mean they're free even if you don't buy the season pass. This is my favorite part of the season, is like late into it, whenever you've made some good progress, pulling all of those things, because the resources from here are actually really, really good for a free resource for just having played a lot of the game. Oh, let's All right, so it looks like my daughter is awake. So this is going to be our last game before doing a raid. Much better rewards compared to the collection levels. Yes, much better. We're going against another Arsham. It's kind of funny that when the meta itself turns into just like frustrating cards and frustrating play, that the game and decks tend to shift over into like back into Arsham instead. Because I'm seeing a lot more Arsham now than I have in the last like 3 weeks. So we have to play something here. We might as well go ahead and start with like an Ant-Man. So we may need to start actually considering getting rid of some of the cards in hand, because we're not going to have Black Swan. So next turn, we may actually play a couple of our cards out. So whether that be Drax plus Hydra Bob, Drax plus 0. The Okoye, they have Hellcow, which is at this point just a decent base power card unless they have something that benefits from it. The Shuri, okay. You get Strong Guy. So if we did Strong Guy, a 0 Hydra Bob situation, I don't think we ever get low enough unless we got lucky with a Blade top deck. Get rid of our cards. We could also go like Drax, Hydra Bob. It opens up the door for, again, potentially Blade. Blade 0 Hit Monkey. Titania. Double Power Miss Marvel is unfortunate for him. Black Swan as our finisher is just adding insult to that injury. 3, 4, 5. We'll leave these. This lane becomes very hit and miss. Go 0 Titania Hit Monkey. If we wanted to, we could get cheeky and we could snap with the Bob. But it's at least going to absorb 3 in this lane, so they would have to at least put something there. And I honestly don't want to snap into it. There's a lot of ways we lose this one. The Magneto does not pull our Dracula, does not pull Drax. Can we beat the 19 power, though? Because Miss Marvel does trigger in that lane. We have 0 Titania Hit Monkey, and we are going to be able to scale past it by 1. The Dracula grabs the Black Swan discard, and we are able to win mid, win left. Goodness. We will gladly take the win. Take the 2 cubes. Jump into the next. Let me grab what stats were like with this deck after I switched over to Hydra Bob, because it feels much better than the other line. Let's see. Definitely feels much more cohesive and much more solid. Oh wow. We went 5 and 1 for a positive 13 cubes. So definitely did well for us with Hydra Bob, indeed. Jump into the next. Yeah, that's going to be the last one. I don't know why I said jump into the next. I think it's just Dracula discard is great. Now, Dracula discard is in a really good spot. The only problem being that the ceiling is pretty consistent, but not insanely high. And so if you get into a high roll deck, so something like Black Panther, Arnim Zola, Dracula, oh yeah, Dracula dump. Yeah, no, you're good, Buff. If you get into like something like the Black Panther, Arnim Zola stuff, you can't really beat their high roll. But a lot of times those decks get punished by the other common decks, and so Dracula dump has room to be able to kind of shine a little bit. We are going to go ahead and end there. I'm going to find somebody to raid you guys over into so that you can enjoy the rest of your Sunday morning. And then I'll be back again very, very soon. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow around this time, I'll be launching a live. And so I appreciate all of you guys for being here, for hanging out. Guy Carlo. I don't know that I've heard of them, but they have 359 viewers right now. And then it looks like there's not a whole lot else. I'm actually going to raid over into Mogwai. Mogwai hit us with a raid the other day, and so I'm going to return the favor. They have, he's returned to Snap, at least for now. Hopefully he enjoys it. Let's go ahead and launch over there, give them a good TLSG welcome, and then we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I wouldn't be able to do this and potentially look to go full-time without all of the amazing support from you guys. We're going to launch the raid. I appreciate you guys, and we will see you again tomorrow.